All right, hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to episode 18 of the Across Your Bow podcast. I'm, of course, your host, Sir HYF1RE. Salutes, my friends. How's it going? With me tonight is my guest, my man, HYF1RE. What's up, Big Daddy? How you doing, bro?
Hey, man. Good. How you doing tonight?
Yo, man, I have been doing absolutely fantastic. What have you been working on this last week, couple of weeks?
The rank, man. I am at rank 6.2 with the Ibuki.
The Ibuki, 6.2.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Anything else you've been working on? We'll talk about ranked here in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, you got the ranked. I've been running a lot of ships on other servers like the EU and actual CIS servers. I've been doing a couple of the coordination streams with other community contributors from around the world, kind of thing. And recently, still expanding that Facebook presence.
It's Facebook. Yeah, guys, speaking of Facebook, you guys can hit up my man HYF1RE at fb.gg/HYF1RE. That's HYF1RE. Or you guys can hit him up over on his Twitter at HYF1RE, spelled like on the screen. Of course, obviously, for you guys over on YouTube, we'll leave the links in the comment description below, or links in the description below. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns here about anything that we talk about, please preface them in our actual live chat here on twitch.tv/SirVenomIK. You guys can do it with at SirVenomIK or at HYF1RE, at one of the mods, and they will get us to us, as we do have a Q&A session later on in the actual program. So with that being said, this week has been one of the most stressful and one of the most rewarding and highly enjoyable weekends or weeks of my life. Stressful? Why? Rank season. Because we finished, finally. And we'll talk about how we finished up here in just a little bit. But first to the news. You ready for the news, man? There's quite a bit of news, actually. Quite a bit of news. All right, so a lot of this stuff is going to come from the premium shop, so just bear with me here. It's not like, oh, go buy this shit. Don't do it if you don't want to. The Lunar 888 bundles available until 8.0 ends. So you guys got to pick those up before 8.1 hits, which I can only assume is after the rank season, because that's when they usually do it. So within the next 2 weeks, I'm sure that'll be gone. The British CVs, a new British CV challenge is coming up where you can earn crowns and florians. You got missions and you got florians. You get containers. I'm assuming there's some other. You have the ability to win the Edinburgh, the Hood, the Duke, and the Vanguard out of these florian containers. Also. What do you think of these things anyway? The missions to get these coins and shit.
I mean, it's, they got to keep the content continuously going. So if they're coming up with one particular like Lunar New Year kind of thing, it portrays to their particular events going on. So, right. I mean, the next couple months here, you might have another coin thing. It just keeps the content fresh, kind of thing.
In this day and age where you have everything. I know I've got everything. HYF1RE, I'm pretty sure you're pretty much got everything too. I wouldn't necessarily desperate for content. I mean, you're always looking to have something to do, and this is just another thing for people to do. And I'm okay with it. Buy them, don't buy them. It's up to you. You can earn pretty much all of this stuff just by playing the game anyway. So you might as well do it. Plus, if you don't have the Edinburgh, the Hood, the Duke of York, or the Vanguard, you guys can pick these up out of that. That'll be something fun and exciting to do as well. Hey, we're doing a cast over here. Shh.
Yeah, you got a little bit of noise in the background.
Yeah, just a little bit. And I threw a pencil at him, too. So there you go. There's that information. Naval Aviation Collection. Coming out, there's 16 different things, different color schemes for all of your British boats, and then you get a premium camo for the Implacable, which is the tier 8 carrier.
Implacable.
The Implacable. Not to be confused with the Indomitable, which is the premium version. Yeah,
there you go.
Not to be confused with that. This will be the Lion ship, the Implacable. There we go. For free-to-play things, this is pretty awesome. You don't have to buy this stuff. You can just get these for free. So there's a chance that you can definitely get all this stuff for free. And by all means, free it up, boys. Free it up. There you go. So some more things here real quick. This is something I wanted to ask people about. What do you guys think about this rental ships? I'm not sure about the rental ships at all, but there is a thing that they got the Terrible out there that you can rent for a week, 7 days, for $5.
I did see that. It threw me off one time because I looked at that and saw the terrible up there for $5. I'm like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I actually like the idea. The reason is because I came from World of Tanks, and World of Tanks allowed you to do rentals, premium rentals, to try them out. And then if you really liked it, then you can actually purchase them. I'm not sure if they implemented like a discount or anything.
They did.
On it. Like,
Yeah, here we go. The rental ship for the Laterable is. Hold on, I wrote all this stuff down, and then I turned the page, and now I don't know where it is. Okay, so you can rent them for $4.99 for 7 days. If you do wish to buy it, it will be that $5 off of your total. So you're really not losing anything. If you don't like it, then fine, don't get it. You've only wasted $5. If you do like it, so it would be $43.14 normally for the Laterable. You get it for $38.15. You'd have to pay,
you wouldn't have so
amount.
much buyer's remorse or anything if you didn't like it.
There you go.
I mean, you can go to Wargaming and go, hey, like I don't like this ship, and get a refund and that stuff. But there's certain circumstances you can't.
Yeah.
But
well,
at
like
least
the
if you
rental,
try
you
it,
wouldn't be able to get it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, there's some boats out there that I would have liked to have I bought this, but it's maybe not the best boat out there. Omaha, Murmansk, Marblehead. Those things are terrible.
Oh, they used to be so good back in the day, though. They were powerhouses.
People need to quit living in the past. Because these boats are terrible, and they will always be forever terrible from now on. And so, unless they revert some of that AFT changes, that's not going to happen. They're just going to get citadeled by looking at them.
That is true.
Yeah, almost like the Emerald gets citadeled. I threw my pencil in there at my kids to get them to be quiet, and somewhere the Emerald got citadeled. Let's see. What else? We got 30 days of premium plus 200 of the Valentine's Day camo flags are still on right now for $51.75. Camos are camos, man. I love camos. I got a bunch of camos, so pick up camos wherever you possibly can. And that's pretty much all of the news. You got any news out there that you want to talk about?
When I'm doing my EU servers or any other servers out there other than my main, camouflages are just like gold. Because you get the experience off them. You can be like 2, 3, or whatnot, and they just go through, battles so quickly and stuff. And then you run out of camouflages, and you're like, oh no! So I know how those camouflages, how worth they are to new players or anybody that's starting off the game.
Well, that's one thing I've always said. Like, if you're trying to grind out and you want to make it quick, right? So this game is a pay to advance instead of a pay to win, and I'm okay with that because you can pay just to make your grind just a little bit easier, and you do that by what? Premium time, premium ships, flags, and camos. These are the ones that are going to help you grind through some of these things, and retraining your captains. It's going to make it a lot easier, a lot smoother. You can, if you guys ever grind out a 19-point captain, get on that 19-point captain, put all those commander experience flags and camos that you can get, and then just play that 19-point captain, because that is going to be the easiest way for you to level up a new 19-point captain, other than grinding out 15 points. You can get that. You can get that relatively quickly and have a pretty decent captain. I know during rank season, this is what I do. I flag up my normal stuff that I need to do. Then I'll throw on extra commander experience so I can gain a bunch more.
Absolutely.
At the end of the season, I find a captain that needs maybe one of these new special captains that they got in the arsenal, Charles Henry Hornet or whatever his name is. I'll just throw everything onto that one guy. It's simple.
Yep.
It's pretty easy. All right, there you go. That's pretty much all the news that we got going on. So let's go ahead and wait. Did you have any more news out there?
No, I mean, if you want to jump into like questions about like the Facebook and stuff like that, but other than that, the World of Warships itself news, you're on top of it. There's only one other thing I saw this morning, kind of piqued my interest, was the naval battles.
You know what? I actually have that set up here for this too. Okay, so two more things here. The King of the Sea tournament is coming up. You guys can sign up starting at today, February the 19th at 5 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. Sign up ends on March the 1st at 12 a.m. Pacific time as well. To contact, you guys can jump into the King of the Sea Discord, and I'll leave the links in the comment description below for you guys if y'all are interested. It is a... Well, let me scroll back up here. It is a 9 versus 9, tier 10. And I believe carriers are encouraged here. King of the Sea tournament. The prize pool is 150,000 doubloons and 1 million steel, sponsored by Wargaming. Now, I'm assuming that this is not to one team. I'm sure it's disseminated throughout most of the teams. Could you guys imagine 9 people getting divvied up a million steel?
Wow.
That's a lot. That's a lot of steel. The top 3 qualifying teams from each region will face off each other for a grand showdown. CIS versus the EU, NA versus the Sea server, and then I'm assuming the winners of those will face each other. CIS is that the Russian server?
Yeah, that's the Common Independent States. So it's like the Belarus, Ukraine, and Russia.
Okay, so there we go. So there's that. If you guys are interested in that, I will leave that. You guys can we'll copy pasta that into everything there. And then the last little bit of news here, let me bring it up. Naval Battle Clans competition has started. What did you guys get your stuff all ready for this?
I mean, I got the notification, but since I removed myself from being the commander of the clan, I put my dad in that position. I need to reach out to him and let him know we need to turn it on.
Yeah. Well, we turned it on soon as somebody let me know, because it was in there, and it said it was in there, but it wasn't available. And like when they said it was going to be in there, it wasn't available till the next Friday. So I was like, I had people like, "Yo, did you activate this?" I'm like, "It's not letting me activate squat." So anyway, we finally got it activated. Then you guys had to gain something like 200,000, almost 200,000 experience throughout the entire clan to be even qualified to do the next thing. So I am assuming this is the preparation phase versus the engagement phase. On Friday, the preparation stage ends and the engagement begins. Clans from all servers which have completed the combat mission will compete in a clan versus clan format from Friday until Sunday. Clan members receive access to special table at the beginning of the engagement. The table will display the ships by type and nation with 19 categories in total. The chain of combat missions is available for each category. The requirement is the same for all missions. Earn a specific amount of base experience per battle. So once you do that, then I guess the first team that does it gets the points. I don't know. So you could.
I think they're rewarding participation on this one rather than like being competitive, clan versus clan kind of thing. It's like a passive clan versus clan where each one has a set of objectives, and whatever clan actually finishes the objectives wins that round versus going against each other. Like clan battles.
So basically just play. That's what it is. And this would actually be good for us because all we have left on our clan stuff is the steel port. That's it. We've got 2 places on the steel port to finish, and we're pretty much done with one of them. We just need another 2,000, 3,000 steel or oil to finish that one up, and then it's the long slog for another 120,000 oil, which is 2 months worth of work.
Wow,
something like that. It's really not much when you think about it. But anyway, guys, if y'all are interested in that, there is the link in the actual Twitch chat. And if you guys are over on YouTube, I will leave that link in the description as below, as well as the King of the Sea. So you guys get that in there. All right.
Actually, I have the client. Hold it real quick. I have the client open. It says right here, naval battles begin. There's no fixed prime time. Play at your convenience. You can use any researchable ship. Clans with any level of activity can participate and get rewards. Fight in battles, earn rewards for your clan and yourself. Simple.
There you go. Can't argue with those statements there. All right, so moving on. Are you ready for the 9 questions of averageness, my friend?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, guys, we're hanging out with my man HYF1RE. You guys can hit him up on his Twitter at HYF1RE, HYF1RE. And then you guys can also hit him over on his Facebook channel as he streams from Facebook now, fb.gg/HYF1RE, spelled the same way. I am Sir Venom IK. You guys can hit me up right here at the Twitter, Sir_Venom_IK, or if you guys are right here in the channel, it doesn't matter to y'all, but over on YouTube, twitch.tv/SirVenomIK, and you guys can have an active conversation with me anytime that I am streaming. So there you go. All right, question number 1, my friend.
Let's do it.
How did you find World of Warships?
Came from World of Tanks. So when I was playing World of Tanks, they got into World of Warplanes, and then I knew that there was another product out there in Alpha, but I didn't get access to Alpha until the very end. Like literally 1 week into the alpha. I took it serious after that. Got my closed beta, my dad a closed beta, and my brother a closed beta access. And there I go. From there on, World of Warships.
I was watching people stream the closed beta, or whenever they were able to stream the game. I was watching people stream it, and I was like, "Yo, I got to get in on this," and I was not able to get in. So it was a little bit later before I was able to actually get involved.
Yeah, but that's where I came from. World of Tanks and World of Warships was like the next big thing, and I wanted to jump on it.
Follow up on that. Do you prefer tanks or ships now? Well, I mean, obviously you prefer ships, but
yeah, I mean, I'm a community contributor for ships, and there's a separate group of people that are community contributors for World of Tanks as well. So, but when I moved over to World of Warships, I just basically that was my next content. That was where I was at. Every time I go back to World of Tanks, I feel like I'm like kind of stepping back into the past and going kind of relearning a bunch of stuff that has changed. So sticking with World of Warships, I enjoy it more.
There you go. Fair enough. So, all right. So you got the beta access. You got your dad and you said your brother.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you got your dad and your brother content to be able to actually play with you. So what made you just start deciding to show up on Twitch?
On Twitch
To start streaming.
My account actually goes back to Justin TV.
Oh wow, it's been a while.
Yeah. Yep. It goes all the way back then. And in fact, I started streaming on XFire. It's an actual So I was on Battlefield 2, Battlefield 3, and I wanted to just basically try to stream because I had an higher than average win ratio, and we were usually with the squad and we're doing really well. I'm still part of what's called a 6th Armored Division. It's a clan for Battlefield series games. And I wanted to start streaming it because, a lot of times when you start becoming good at a game, I call it haccusations. Basically, it's somebody that accuses you of hacking. But when you get those, you're just leveling up your game. But anyhow, I started streaming just so that way I can put the content out there like, hey, come watch me play. I'm not doing anything suspicious or anything like that. But then that transferred over to World of Tanks for XFire. They started to stream, and then they just kind of dropped it. And then I went over to Justin TV and started content in there. I didn't actually start doing full-time streaming until probably 2015, 2016. Oh, wow. That's when I started taking it actual serious. And I was like, okay. And the first game I took it serious with, World of Warships.
Right. I know, dude, we're going 5 years next month.
Yeah.
5 years next month is the thing. And eventually people will realize that there is this, podcasts going on. Like every week it's the same time, And eventually we'll quit doing the dishes while I'm trying to do the show. I don't know, maybe. Question number 3, the biggest, what do you think your biggest setback is that you've had in changing your mentality on the streaming front? And give me a second. Let me go.
I can lay it down. There's been the major setbacks have been schedule changes, and I'll come back when he gets back on the stream. And a lot of you guys know that when you watch me on Twitch and you watch me now on Facebook, is that every time I change schedules, there's always a setback. So the biggest setbacks I have is changing schedules, and every streamer knows that when you have a set schedule, they know when to find you, know when to tune in. That's when your average viewership is really high. So in the past few years, when I started streaming and stuff, I've had shifting schedules from evening to morning, evening to morning. I'm just a person that's in high demand and try to fill in for positions that are available in it. And every time I try to like get the better in the stream stuff, it's like, oh, sorry guys, I'm changing my schedule again. And it's like you have to start almost, I wouldn't say from the beginning, but it does set your stream back quite a bit because everybody has to get used to your stream time and all that.
I know consistency is something that I've always said. Hey Venom or hey Firefire, or what? Give me some tips or whatever, which will go
consistency.
Consistency is the key.
Yep.
If they know that you're going to be on at 7 p.m., then show up at 7 p.m. And it's pretty easy for people to get used to you being there. And the more times that you're there at 7 o'clock, the more chance people have to show up to do it. But there's not to be said that you can't be successful changing your schedules. You do morning streams, you do evening streams. As long as you're consistent with those, then you should be okay.
Yeah.
So what? At what point in time did you decide? What was the biggest factor that you decided? You know what? This is going to be something good for me. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and be a streamer. And did it click for you? You know.
Like I said, it's when I was doing the first-person shooter games, Battlefield in particular. Just wanted to have fun and just show, what a good squad can do or a good communication with your team can do for you. So that was one of the first things I was like, well, if I'm streaming this and if we're doing really well as a squad, they can tune in and see if you got a squad yourself and coordination with a couple like-minded people that are playing the game, you can do really well. That was one of the first things that kind of clicked. And it's like, hey, well, and then people would drop in and say hey, I like your content. I like what you do. You explain things when you're in the middle of it. And that has taken some time for me to get used to. When you're playing a game, when you're playing your game by yourself, you're not in a commentator mode most of the time. When you're in streaming, you have to be in a commentator mode. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? What's your reason for this? Why did you go this way? Why did you do that? That's always going to be in the back of your head. And you have to continue to do that because nobody just wants to just watch somebody play a game. They want to know why.
Right. Why are you doing this instead of that?
Yeah.
Totally understand. I mean, and it number one, it helps the people at home. It helps the people understand what your mentality was going into a particular situation. Also, it helps you too because you're able to analyze what you're doing after the fact. Okay, well, I made a mistake here. I should have gone this way. I should have gone that way. I should have pushed faster. I should have sat longer. Whatever. I made a
critical mistake just today. Just today when I was doing ranked, the Ibuki. I knew I made a mistake. I was sitting there. I'm saying I made a huge mistake, and sure enough, got blacked. So,
guys, we're hanging out with my man Highfire here. If you guys have any questions or anything for him, please leave them in the comment section below. If you're over on YouTube, or if you guys are here in the actual chat, you guys can preface it with @SirVenomIK or @Highfire or @one of the mods here, and we will get to those questions and answering toward the end of this program. All right, so you've gone from a streamer to a streamer over on Xfire, to Twitch, to now to Facebook, a little bit of Justin TV thrown in there. You've gone from well, basically, what do you think? I don't know how to ask this question now.
What was my reason to go to Facebook, right?
No, well, I mean, something along those lines. Let's put it this way. What have you learned on your journey from all of these different places and now you're a community contributor for World of Warships, and things seem to be going pretty well for you. How's things going on Facebook, and would you change up any of that journey at all? Or
I would say each time you change your platform, there's going to be a group of people that are going to stick with you no matter where you go. If you go to YouTube, if you go to Twitch, if you post content on YouTube, if you do podcasts, if you stop streaming and do streak-only podcasts, people are still going to find you and listen and watch you. Those dedicated people that go between those platforms, those are the golden ones. Those ones you want to keep. Those ones you want to, I won't say cater to them, but you want to reward them. And keep them around because no matter where you go, you're going to have them. When I went from Twitch to Facebook, I saw an opportunity. In particular, when a bunch of big streamers that I was watching had switched over. I was like, what is this? What are they doing? And I kind of was curious on the whole Facebook gaming myself. So when I thought about it, when I looked into it, there was nobody there for World of Warships. Nobody. I mean, World of Warships themselves stream to the Facebook page, and every once in a while they do giveaways and stuff. But as a community contributor, I saw an opportunity to go over there to be a community contributor for Facebook. And since I'm doing that, about half of my audience on Facebook had no idea what Twitch was. And the other half came from Twitch. So there are other mediums out there that you can live stream to and be a community contributor to provide content, to provide giveaways, and that kind of stuff to them.
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. You said that because I'll be honest with you, man. I was kind of lost. I was like, "Where the hell did HYF1RE go, man? I hadn't seen him. What the hell's going on? What's he doing on Facebook? Facebook, come on, man. Nobody uses Facebook, but apparently people use Facebook, guys. Not only that, but there's an opportunity out there for anybody that wants to jump on Mixer, and because Mixer is also a pretty much untapped potential for World of Warships if anybody's interested in streaming there and growing the community. Now, what's the difference of the challenges growing a community based from Twitch to differences of Facebook and growing the communities?
So one of the main differences between Twitch and Facebook is animosity. So when you jump on a Twitch, you're behind a username. When you're on Facebook, a lot of people comment with their real names.
The anonymity.
Anonymity. So that it changes their mentality a lot of times, because let's say if I want to approach a streamer and let's say if I'm a troll, it's easier to jump on a Twitch channel or so and be behind a name and do some. You're gonna get banned anyways, but still, when you're over on Facebook, you're using your real name. So when you call somebody out, it's like you're calling them out. Like, my name's Luke. If I come into a stream and they're like, "Hey Luke," yada yada yada, and you start doing stuff on that. There's another level of it's personal. When you stream it over there, it's personal for them and for you.
Fair enough. I think I could see why that would be appealing for some people. As for a streamer standpoint, now, because I don't know. You know it. I know it. When you go to TwitchCon, you've been there several times before. The conversation goes like this: "Oh, hey, Venom, how's it going?" And then it's like the look down to the tag because you don't know who these people are, and you are your username, and maybe you can see a little bit of a difference in that in the Facebook area. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Well, I mean that happens to a lot. I mean, if you have some top fans. And them just by their names, but you don't know their faces. Mm-hmm. They show up in the panels or at the TwitchCons. You have to look at their names, or they have to introduce. A lot of times we've gone through this before.
Right.
The streamers will tell hey, if you see me at the TwitchCon, you got to say something. You got to say who you are. Introduce. Don't just go up to me and go, "Hey, do you know who I am?" I'm like, well, we don't know a face.
No idea.
A name. So that's still there on kind of like the Facebook arena too, because it's your name, but you don't necessarily have a face to it. So it's still going to be there on any conventions and stuff you go to. But yeah.
That sounds interesting, man. I know. So moving on to the next question is what makes you different? What makes you different than me? What makes you different than Ashley or any of the other community contributors out there? Because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of EU guys. There's a lot of Russian guys. There's a lot of German guys. I mean, there's a lot of Asian guys. I mean, what makes you stand out?
I mean, I've been a community contributor for about it's about a year now, year and a half, roughly. So I'm still one of the, I wouldn't say newest ones, but there's been community contributors that are much older than I am, not older, but that way, but I mean, have been doing it longer than I have. And what I've done is, when I started streaming World of Warships, people tune into the channel and they learn off of me. So they learn tactics, they learn where to shoot, where to look for settings, what to do in a certain circumstance, how to dodge torpedoes. That kind of thing. Yeah. So it's like when they see me do it, and then they're like, "Oh, that's probably fairly easy to do it." Yeah. And then they go to theirs, and then they come back to my stream and go, "Hey, man, I learned a lot from your streams and stuff." And that's where I believe that's where my contribution for the World of Warships community is at. is I help others.
There you go. And that's always nice. I know here at the School of Average, that's all we want to do is help people get better and enjoy the game as much as we want to, as much as I enjoy the game. And if I didn't enjoy the game, I'm sure you'd be the same way. You wouldn't play it if you didn't enjoy yourself. So there you go, guys. Another like-minded individual here that is all about the
Teaching
teaching and trying to help other people. It's not just about them and what their stats are, which I think a lot of people lose when they do have some stats or they do have a pretty decent win rate. They get a little arrogant and cocky, and it drives me batty. I'm sorry. I have a hard time wanting to follow those guys. And
we had a conversation about this before when the ranked. Remember why we jump into ranked. And it's not because of our stats. It's that when you come out of ranked, you're a much better person playing, or a much more better captain playing, than when you didn't take the ranked session.
I love the ranked sessions. It's simply for the fact that those next 2 weeks I'm God tier. I feel like I'm not trying to be cocky or anything like that or arrogant. I just feel like I'm on the ball because I played nothing but DDs here, and when I come out of it, I'm going to play some DDs, and I'm still going to have that ranked mentality, and it'll last for about 2 weeks, and then it'll go back to crap. But
back to average.
Back to average, and there you go. So question number 7, man. Who influences you as a person to go to that next level? Albeit for example, maybe a person, an artist, a book, a movie, another streamer. What? I've
asked myself this question a few times when you told me about it, and there are some streamers that I watch in particular because of their not just their content but their personalities. And some of those personalities I've told you moved over to Facebook, so that's when I got my attention. It's like, why did you do that? So,
right.
But there are others that have stayed on Twitch. One of the things that really keeps me going is when someone comes through my channel, and when they come to my channel and they're not streamers themselves, but they want to know like how to get into it. And then once they start getting into it, then their channel takes off, and it's like going up. And the feeling for me is like feeling proud. Like they came through, they learned something, and then they took off themselves. So for me to keep doing that and seeing people come into the channel and taking off themselves, that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, that's something I've always. We've had several people over here make partner recently, and through which is amazing, and congratulations to all those guys. They deserve it. But being able to throw a raid out or throw a host or talk about them on the stream and then see them succeed, it's like maybe you had a little bit to do with it because the rest of it's them. But it's always nice to see people that you enjoy watching having some modicum of success, and I was like, yeah, good job, bro, and it's always good to see that moving forward. So do you have any tips for a streamer, an aspiring ship streamer, or just a streamer in general?
Find your true bit rate, your internet speed. For one, is definitely going to neglect that. So if you have a really bad internet, you're not going to have that great of a stream quality. So you got to get something a little more average, maybe a little bit better on the actual internet speed, so you can be able to pump out your 3,000 to 6,000 bit rate. And if you really do only like 3,000 bit rate, do a low frame rate. Do like 30 frame rate. When people are watching on their phones, which a lot of Facebook does, or when they're watching on the computers, 30 frame rate doesn't look half bad, because the bit rate can compensate for that. But if you're trying to play like at 60 frames and 30 bit rate, it's garbage. So it's just, those kind of things, you gotta find your sweet settings when you're starting to stream, and also make sure those settings can compensate for your internet speed. Because if you don't have the internet speed, you're not going to be able to do those high end settings. Start with basic. Don't go buying a $4,000 or $6,000 setup expecting to be like streaming and get right off the ground going, being partnership right away. Baby steps. Get a mic. Get your sound perfect. Get your bit rate perfect. Start doing some here and there, and then when you start streaming, start feeling out like what is your audience like. If they like a particular ship, or if they like a particular content that you're shooting for, then you start working on that. So when I stream World of Warships, like for example to Facebook, they expect me to play World of Warships. They expect that's where the content's going to be at. When I play a different game, it's the content. The people that tune in are very much more lower, but you're still expanding another audience out there. So when you first start streaming, even if you have 0 or 1 viewer, keep doing it and take feedback positively. Someone says your sound is awful, fix it. If someone says your video is awful, fix it. Look at your own videos too. That's crucial. So when top streamers, when I ask them, like, what made your content better, watching your own stuff, because there's some things that are going to irritate you. If it irritates you, it's probably irritating your audience too.
Yeah. It's one thing, you don't need a camera at the beginning. You don't need an expensive camera. You can get them at Walmart for $50. You don't need an expensive microphone. You can use a headset microphone. I don't recommend headset microphones, but you can until you gain some ground. So did I, man. We all did until one guy came in and said, "Yo, you sound like shit." Venom. I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Your headphone sounds like shit. Get you a goddamn microphone." I was like, "Okay." So I went and got a microphone, and it wasn't until somebody came through and said, "Hey, you sound like crap." So if you are going to watch these things, I can't hear my own stream. I can't see my own stream. So help these guys out, especially the newer guys. Hey, your microphone sounds like crap, man. Let's fix it, or adjust some settings. I'll sit here and wait for you. I've done that for people before. I know you've done that before, HYF1RE. So there you go. Settings. I streamed out at 2500 bitrate for almost 3 years.
Yeah. I did like 3000 too. No, 20. I did 2400. That's right. I did 2400 at 30 frames.
I did. Well, I was doing 720/60 at 2500 bitrate, and then and my internet has been the same for the last 5 years. 10 down and 100 down and 10 up. That's it. And then so it's like, man, this is stupid. Why am I not doing this? So I moved it up. I started bumping it up to 1080/60, and some people weren't able to watch it because they had potatoes as computers. But that's besides the point. So I pulled it back down a little bit, and then when we made partner, we got the transcodes option, so now I can bump it back up. And then I've started pushing out the bit rate. So now we're sitting at about 6000 bit rate and 1080/60 and doing.
Do you want me to touch on some topics over there that Facebook that have the same kind of thing here?
Go for it.
There is a program just like an affiliation. It's called Level Up. So when you get into that affiliation, there's a little bit of a minimum requirements, like 100 followers. So it's pretty low. It's not like drastically high. And once you get in that Level Up program, then you can stream at 1080, 60 frames, and up to 6000 bit rate.
That's pretty impressive. Now is this to where they have options so they can drop it down how they want? Or
of course.
All source code?
Yep. So everybody can jump in and change the bit rate down. Transcoding is there. But if you wanted to watch like 1080 at 60 frames, you can. As long as the caster can do it. If the caster can't do it,
if you can't push it out there, it's obviously yeah. All right, cool. So there you go. I think that's pretty good for a lot of people moving forward if they're looking to get into it, Twitch and or Facebook or Mixer or something along those lines. I've never streamed the Mixer. Well, I haven't in a long time. Not since the affiliate program came out and we're not allowed to stream to two places at the same time.
Not at the same time.
Not at the same time. But that's okay, and that's neither here nor there. All right, moving on. One last question. Question number 9. What is your biggest tip in World of Warships for new players?
Find a particular type of strategy that you like, and if you like that strategy, use that class. So if you like fast, high action, high risk, then you want to use like destroyers that are up there in the capture points. If you don't like the high risk, but you like to stay in the back, but you like calculated risks, then you use like torpedo boats like the Japanese. If you want something in the middle between, not quite a battleship, but not quite a destroyer, but can still do a lot of damage or so, that's where the cruisers are at. They're the most versatile is usually cruisers, even though they sometimes they get wrecked by battleships. But, that's all about, knowing your surrounding. And then the battleships themselves, if you're a person that doesn't quite like the immediate in your face kind of action, then that's where your battleships are going to be at. So find your where you like to play, and then that's stick with that line and explore those lines, and then at some point or other explore a different line the same kind. That's what I did. I did destroyers because I came from first person shooter games, so high risk, high situational awareness. I went up to the American destroyer line, got the Fletcher, and got the gearing. That was my first tier 10. Then from there, the Russian destroyers came out, and I had my Gremiachi. So that captain went all the way with that line.
There you go.
And then I got the Japanese. So a lot of my first tier 10s were destroyers because of the high risk, high, situational awareness.
Right.
A lot of battleships and stuff, they came last. But anyhow, that was me. That's I knew where my personality was at. When you find the personality, the type of ships that work for you, do all those lines.
There you go. Do those. That's pretty much. I don't tell them exactly that, but that's pretty much it is. You got to tell me how you want to play, and I can put you in a line that fits that play style. Do you want to be relatively tanky, shoot every once in a while, but potential for big damage? Do you want to be maneuverable, set a lot of fires? Do you want to be pretty much the linchpin of any game is the destroyers? If you want to be the important guy, then go play DD. That's and then it breaks down into the different battleship play styles versus the different cruiser play styles, and then the DD play styles. But you got to let me know. There's a tipping point that and that's finding out how you want to play first. So absolutely enjoy that. All right, guys, that's the 9 questions of averageness. Do you feel a little bit more average, High Fire?
Oh yeah, of course.
Guys, if y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything we talked about so far, you guys can go ahead and type it in there in the actual chat or in the comment section below, and we'll get to those as soon as we can. All right, so moving on to our first topic, ranked season. Ranked season number 11 is still in full effect as of February the 19th, 2019. It's 7:36 in the PMs here in the Central Time. We got about 6-7 days left, I believe. It's 6 days. I don't remember.
7 days.
7 days, something like that. But to get yourself ranked out on this ranked season 11. Now, this is a different ranked season than any other ranked season that I've ever seen before. Being as Arms Race is a new game mode. They tested it out. Last year, and I thought it was okay. I only played it a handful of times then, but then to come into playing it in the ranked season, I thought it was a very interesting change and a very welcome change. I'm not necessarily too happy with Tier 9, but it was a nice change to set off. What do you think overall? What do you think about the Arms Race and ranked season?
I've been enjoying it. The arms race itself adds a little bit more, just being kind of an average gameplay kind of thing. You instead of trying to fight for capture points or fighting for controllability of the map or certain areas, this kind of gameplay rewards people that are aggressive into like the middle areas to get those power ups. And those power ups, I've seen in Missouri running around like a destroyer. That thing turns wickedly fast and then outmaneuvers a cruiser and stuff, only because he had 20 power ups. But still, it's that kind of gameplay has really quite been different and enjoyable. And it like I said, it's not like it's like the old ranked style. It does have that grind though. That grind is still horrendous there, but it's different. And I like that differentness.
I don't mind the difference either. Now I remember the first couple of handful of games that you play, people are still trying to figure out their roles and where they should be. So people are taking the standard boats. What would be at a normal ranked Tier 9. You'd have the St. Louis on the outside, which would have been a good choice. I don't think St. Louis had any business being in this ranked season at all because of its limitation of it really can't push that hard. I mean, it can, and it can be somewhat tanky, but good luck being consistent with your tank with that split armor. I really didn't think it had a pretty good place. I have seen a lot of Ibukis being successful. Not too many people were playing the rune, cruiser-wise.
I've been seeing him getting knocked out left and right. I don't know if maybe people just don't play him, but every time I see a rune, he puts himself out there in the open. Sure enough, a couple of battleships knock him out. Instant Citadel is done. So I haven't seen really that many successful runes, surprisingly.
Well, the rune, in my opinion, is successful when you can push into a zone, turn around, and kite him away. That's my impression of the rune's play style, and that's the way I played it and was relatively successful with it during the
That's what I've
actual
been.
ramps.
That's the same way I've been playing with the Ibuki. Is that the Ibuki is just a fire-breathing monster if you set it up correctly. You get into a certain area and then just got to get out immediately.
As for battleships, any battleship will work. Any battleship has been really good. I mean, you lean more toward the Missouris or the Freddy. Actually, the Freddy the Groper, man. Holy snot, this thing has been a monster in the games that I've been playing.
Has it?
Yeah, the Freddy, not much for damage, but for tank, holy crap, man.
Yeah.
You push bow in on somebody, they're going to be hard pressed to do damage to you.
You're right.
And so you'll have to really gangbang this Freddy to get him out of the game, because what happens when you play a Musashi? They bow in and that's it, and that's all they do, and they hit the reverse button, and it's such a boring play style for me personally to sit there and be still. And I think the most successful Musashis that I've seen have been very mobile. The ones that end up getting torpedoed and burnt down are the ones that just sit there. And so if you are still playing, guys, go into Musashi, but don't be stationary. You end up giving yourself a little bit too much of a disadvantage being stationary. John Bart, I see a lot of those. I know my man fits in your aft. He ranked out in the John Bart and did very well at it. Yeah, very well at it.
I've seen a few of them that just some reason the accuracy on those things when they try to shoot the Ibukis, they don't hit me. But then again, though, I'm bobbing and weaving, slowing down, all that other good stuff. When they do hit any battleship hits the Ibuki, it's Citadel. I mean, it's one of those big floating citadels, so it's not hard to get wrecked in it real quickly. But it seems like the accuracy on those Jane Barts, it's like, oh, it's just Jane Bart. The ones that I'm always afraid of is the Musashis.
Mm-hmm. Musashis, the Missouris, they're pretty consistent with their dispersion, and consistency breeds excellence, I think. Especially, and that's why the Missouri is probably. I'd be interested to see at the end of this season what the stats were. Percentage of players that played Musashi, a lot of them, and a percentage of players that were Missouris. Because there was games where I think I had every game this season was a Musashi, but not every game this season was a Missouri.
So one of the things I had to come up with, kind of the question from my community was, do you want to see Fletcher Black rank out right away, or do you want to see a challenge? And the majority of my community was like, we tune in for challenge. So that's why I selected the Ibuki, because I felt that the Ibuki is going to be one of those really challenging situational kind of ships to play. And it is. But I've seen a lot of people do pretty well with it too. But I've seen some people that are really bad, but still.
Yeah, we had a Ibuki. I've had several Ibukis just get 4 minutes into the game, they're way too deep and they're dead. I mean, like instantly, just one shot from across the map on the cross shots. But I mean that happens with anything. Now, let's move into one of the hotly contested here, and everybody's going to have a different opinion here based on their personal play style or based on their personal experience. The destroyers. This is the most hotly contested, most important thing about this rank season is your destroyers.
It's not. I wouldn't say that it's. I mean, okay, look. If a destroyer is going to go in right in hot right and get themselves knocked out, then yeah, you're going to shame that destroyer quite a bit. But the destroyers, to me, is that the first couple of areas you can get into, but just get out. GTFO. Because a lot of times you get focused. And if your destroyers get focused, it's not going to work out. In fact, I found that the games that are really good are when the destroyers are at the end game. Because they're able to run around, still torpedo, still harass, and they have all these power-ups going on because they've captured like 20 of them.
4.5 kilometer detection.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, and then my cruiser will get about half, and then the battleships all in the back don't get any of them.
Right.
So like that's what I was saying. Is like the aggressiveness works, but don't be too aggressive. Don't put yourselves up to just try to get them knocked out. So.
There's a fine line. I think the best DD this season was the Jutland, hands down. Jutland was just Jutland's just too. It was very, very strong. Followed very quickly by the Black and then the Z46. I ranked out in the Z46, bro. Like
wow.
60 some odd games in the actual Z46. It took me 140 games to total rank out before I actually decided to. I mean, it was a conversation between me and Jash. I was like, man, you were watching the channel, bro. I'm struggling here with these DDs. I was playing the Kitakaze, I was playing the Jutland. I just was not. I don't feel like I was controlling the game, and that's the feeling that I enjoy. Like when you play Tier 8, you go play the Low Yang because you can control the cap, or you play a Gearing because you can control the spotting because it's 5.5, or a Yu Yang because of the radar. You can really control more of the game, and I really didn't feel like I was having that control, so I wasn't comfortable in any of these boats until I hit the 46. And once the 46 came out there, I've got 5 kilometer hydro, and that have won more games for me with that 5 kilometer hydro, spotting the torps, letting these guys know, hey, there's torps coming, and going in there and being aggressive on that middle cap or the middle point, and just being outside of it. And man, it was such a good time actually playing it. Yesterday we ranked out last night, and we needed 7 games to rank out, and we ranked out 7 games in a row. We won all 7 of them. Just boom, 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 and it just the teams were there. So
nice.
Yeah.
When you get those teams, Dan, when you get that one team that's always constantly on, you're in it, and it's like one after another, after another, and after another. Don't stop.
Nope.
Because that's your getaway card to get ranked out. Because if you get that team that goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, you're going to be there for a while.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time at 5 and 6, going back and forth from 5 to 6, and then once I hit rank 3 once, and I think we dropped out of rank 3 once, 1 star out of it, and then right back into it, and then I stopped at 3-3, and then the next day was just went out. It was whatever. Okay, and then the last game was a ridiculously good game, which I posted on YouTube, that you guys might want to check that one out there at youtube.com/ServantOfMyK.
Yeah, I always hear people like they get so close to ranking out and they slide all the way back. Dude, just do your 3 losses quote for the day. If you're winning, losing, winning, losing, those 3 losses, that's when you should call it a day for the ranked and just move on. Give yourself a break. Come back a couple hours later or next day and try it again. And then sure enough, you'll be like, win, one loss, right? And win, one other loss. But then guess what? You got like 16 wins and only 3 losses. That's a good day.
I remember one of the Tier 6 rank season, not the sprint one, but the last full Tier 6 rank season, or the only full Tier 6 rank season they did. I went 3 days where I lost 2 games overall. And it was such a wonderful feeling to be able to, and that was the last 2 days, I mean, we were struggling a little bit at 10 or whatever, and then something, I switched over to the HYF1RE and was able to outspot everything and just absolutely flew through it. And it's all about finding the boat that you're comfortable with. And something to be said here, guys. Find a boat that you're comfortable with. Don't let anybody tell you, because when we were going through this last couple of days of the rank season, I would be just monstering through some of these games, and people would come in, why don't you play the Jutland? And I'm like, I just did 150,000 damage and we won the game, and I had all these caps in the Z46. Why would I want to go back and play the Jutland where where I have more experience in this boat, because I ranked out in the Z52 in one of those Tier 10 ranked seasons? I mean, that's
the other thing too, is that when I'm playing these games, remember, I want to rank out with the Ibuki. I don't want to rank out with some other ships. So a lot of times in the previous seasons, that's why I was asking my community, do you want to see a Black/Fletcher? Because, if I bring the Black in, there's high chances I'm going to get knocked out. I'm going to bring a backup ship in. Fletcher's a really good backup ship for that particular class.
Absolutely.
But for the Ibuki, there's not really, the Rune's not really a good backup. St. Louis is not really a good backup. It's kind of in a class of its own. So when I get knocked out, I just wait. Mm-hmm. Wait for the end results. Watch the outcome. My very last battle this morning, oh man, I had an Iowa versus an Alsace, and it was driving me nuts. And everybody in my chat would know. It's like, what is this guy doing? But They want it.
I know. I know. I got carried by an Ibuki yesterday in my one game. I made a mistake and went. I was waiting for the Ibuki to come around the corner, and there was a St. Louis in the Thunderdome over there on the Sleeping Giant, and I went around the corner a little bit way too early. I was waiting for the Ibuki to come around so we could tag team this St. Louis, and I went in there and I got killed before he even came around the corner. And I was so upset. I was like, "Where were you, dude?" He's like, "Dude, I'm slow. Remember, you go 40 knots. I go like 32." So I was like, "Shit." Well, that was on me. But anyway, he ended up carrying the rest of the game for us and won the game for us, which was the next game we ranked out. So thanks to that guy, and I gave him a compliment for it too because I'm a nice guy. Especially
I'm only at 6.2. So. Yeah. You already know the grind is at 5. Once you hit 5, that's when you're going back and forth.
Well, you better hurry up, bro. You ain't got much time left, man.
I know.
5 or 6 days.
Working on it.
Now, running out of time. Let's take a step back here. Let's talk about the rest of the cruisers. Buffalo, Seattle, Donskoy, Kronstadt. I've seen them all. I think the Donskoy is probably the one that I would not recommend for people. I don't care for the Donskoy. It's a personal preference. I've never played it very well. I find that it's not as tanky as the Kronstadt would be, and so for you to do anything that you need to do, you have to be out and getting your long range HE spam down, and then you have to move in with your radar to be effective with your radar, and it's too much and it's too risky for my personal taste. As for the Buffalo and Seattle, what do you think?
I've seen a couple Buffaloes work. I have not seen a lot of Seattle's work.
Boy, I know early in the ranked season it was Buffalo, Seattle, Buffalo, Seattle, Buffalo, Seattle, just like every game, and they were annoying as shit, and really? they really hurt. Depending on where their positioning was, and it's all about positioning in any ranked season. Depending on where their positioning was, they could really devastate somebody and devastate a zone and just have basic map control, and that's what you wanted in this ranked season was map control, and not just map control, but the middle of the board. You wanted that middle of the board control, because if you did that, then you could reposition yourself and defend against a push coming from the other side that they have gone all the way to the outside to get that 8, 9, 10 line or whatever, and now they're having to push back, which drives me insane.
Yes, me too.
Drives me batty. Guys, the middle of the board is where you wanted it. And what's going to control the middle of the board? The radar's going to control the middle of the board. The Kronstats are going to control the middle, the Jutlands, the Hydros. Chungmu, I saw a few Chungmus with radar, but they were effective 1, maybe 2 games out of the 10 that I saw. The rest of the time, it was just like they were useless because of their torpedoes.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I saw Chungmus when I first started on the season, the first week there before I took like a massive break, and then I don't see them at all anymore. Chungmus. They ranked out, or they found out they weren't very.
What was the what am I missing here? Trash can, hadn't seen. I saw one trash can in a game out of the 140 games that I played. It was effective. He did its job, and we won the game. So whatever. Other than that, there was very limited visual.
I had my dad bragging about his 12 wins in a row in the trash can.
Oh yeah.
And then he ended up being on my side, not my side, against me, 2 rounds in a row.
Oh man,
got smashed.
Oh man, that's insanity. It's always funny, but I stream all my games, with the little map cover or whatever. So, and it's not because of me. I don't care. You guys can stream snipe me if you guys need that much help. Fine, whatever. But I'm not gonna screw over the rest of my team. So that's the only reason why I use a map cover. But we streamed every game this season, and I was really enjoying this season. Overall, man, I think I saw just a few Udaloids. They were pretty effective as a backup guy. If you would run a black and Udaloid together, man, that was hard to beat. We had a couple of those against us. We had one with us where it was a 3. Something I was really upset about. Holy crap. How many 5 DD games have you had? Holy shit, man. It's been so many of those 5 DD games and then a Musashi.
Not recently. I think maybe because a lot of those DDs have been out already. But my most successful games so far have been 2, 2, and 2. So 2 BBs, 2 cruisers, and 2 destroyers. When it varies from that, 4 battleships or 5 battleships, or 5 destroyers and stuff, those games tend to be pretty lopsided.
Yeah, they're pretty lopsided. I know we had a game of four battleships and 2 destroyers, and we just ate them up. It was like I'm going to the outside. We would focus the middle. Me and whoever would roll together, and then we would have like a John Bart or an Alsace, something really fast to go to the opposite side. And me and the other DD would roll together, and he was a black or he was a Jutland or whatever, and we would just get in that range and just absolutely dominate the enemy's destroyer. And once those destroyers are gone, you got free reign. They're not going to spot you. You just hold your shots and just get in and torpedo the hell out of them. Had a 215,000 damage game doing that, and it was like, it's a Z46, bro. It's not supposed to do that.
How many high calibers have you gotten this season?
I don't know.
Was it every other round or so?
It was pretty substantial amount. I mean, we played 140 games. I did 60 of them in 60 plus in the Z46, and if we're only counting the Z46, I probably maybe 15 or 20.
I was joking around on my stream that the next stream title was going to be Harvester of High Caliber, because I was getting them literally about every round. But I mean, remember, it's a Zao. It's a Zao.
You're playing the Ibuki.
It's the Ibuki. So I was playing the Ibuki, and I burned like every that's out there. Hit destroyers, almost devastating, striking them and stuff. Yeah. So, but like pretty much every round I was getting high caliber.
That's insane, right? And that's good, though, because a lot of people are playing those battleships, and that's what they're there for the enemy team. It's just to farm them. That's all they are, is farm damage. And I was getting a lot of them in the Kitakaze as well when I was playing that, just finding an island and just humping over that island, just blah, 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 just hold the button down and just fire. I had 13 fires in a game, which is one of my records, which, as you know, fires are not something that happened for me ever. And I was pretty happy to get 2 fires in a game, let alone 13 fires and 100,000+ damage in a Kitakaze. It's pretty devastating for a battleship.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy how you can do almost 200,000 damage with only 6 ships in a game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if 4 of them are battleships at 90,000 plus.
Yeah, that, and you got remember, it's the type of gameplay. It's that arms race, and so the arms race adds all the hit points repair over time.
Yeah, they get that heal too. So I mean, the potential's there for quite a massive, substantial game if you're willing to take the time. And I know there's times that I'm sitting there holding the button down, and this guy's got 1,000 hit points, but he's ticking so fast that I can't kill him. I'm just like, oh my god, get a fire! Yeah, it's been a mess. But I will say this though, I have gotten dreadnoughts in my Z46 because of that heal. I have gotten some of those, but all right. So overall, your opinion of this ranked season overall?
I would say if they can mix the arms race up with maybe divisions, I don't know about 6. Maybe if you can do divisions, maybe 6. But maximum of 2 persons per division and do the arms race might speed up this kind of grind that you got going on. Other than that, like I said, it's back to the grind, but it's a different game mode. But it's game mode is, to me, it's a little better than the average stuff.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed this one. I know a lot of people. There's a lot of feedback going on about what do you think about this rank season. I'm like, this rank season's fine. I mean, it's just another rank season. A lot of people were sitting there complaining and bitching and moaning about it early. This game mode sucks, and I'm like, it's not that big of a deal because within the first day, people still not gonna know how to fucking play the goddamn mode. And until people learn how to play the mode, I mean, same thing with the current carrier rework. People are complaining so much about this thing, and I'm like, it's been less than a month, bro. People still don't know how to play it, and they're still balancing it. So just calm down.
You remember I was part of the CC Summit, and that was we tested an early alpha version of it was a concept version of that rework, that CB rework. And a lot of us knew, or at least I knew, that it was going to be like a 50-50. It was going to be 50% better, 50% worse, because it's just going to change. You're changing an aspect of the game so drastically that you're just shifting it over to a different problem.
Right.
Really.
Yeah, well, we're band-aiding problems, but and actually, this one actually kind of stitched it up. I think the CB reworks fine, but we're getting off topic here. But going back to the ranked season, overall, I wouldn't rate this my favorite ranked season. Based on tier 9, tier 9 wasn't terrible for a choice. But I do find that tier 9 is very limiting on your choices. For you legit have maybe 4 choices of cruiser that you can take to be super effective, unless you're just god tier in the Ibuki like HYF1RE is, or you have 1 or 2 choices at DD that are comparable or competent choices, and pretty much any battleship is fine. So I don't know. I didn't really feel like this was a good smattering of boats like you would say at tier 8, because all the DDs are viable at tier 8, all the cruisers are viable at tier 8, all the battleships are viable at tier 8, and they're not one of them are better than the others. Not one class is better than the other class. Whereas you look at something like a tier 7 ranked where the cruisers are so damn strong and the battleships are so terrible and the destroyers can't compete because the battleships can't compete with the cruisers to kill them. So it's a very cruiser heavy meta. Same thing at tier 10, and regardless of how good the tier 10 battleships are, the cruisers are just that much better. And so I don't find that a very balanced tier. Tier 9 is okay. It's almost balanced. There's a few choices that I would like to see, but tier 6 and tier 8 are still probably the most balanced tiers that I've seen.
Would you? I mean, because of that limitation of the tier 9s. I've actually had one game today that there were no premium ships. Mm-hmm. There were no tier 9 premium ships that were played. Right. That are all standard issue ships.
Wow. We had a few. We had a few games. We had a couple of Izumos do very well this season as well, which is not something that anybody would ever say, because a lot of people hate the Izumo, and I found the Izumo enjoyable.
The few of them that have been on my team, I tell them good luck, because I'm not going to play it, and I don't know how well. But they end up doing pretty well, so it's kind of surprising.
It ends up being like a personal preference or whatever. I mean, anyway, don't let anybody dictate what you should play out there. Go play what you're comfortable with. Oh, and then one last little thing here before we move on into looking back at 2018. One last thing is, most of the people that I know that are very good at this game, that I kind of ask for advice or I look up for advice, they tend to play 1 or 2 ships and that's it. So don't go jumping back and forth from let's play the Jutland. Now we died early in that game. Let's go play the Kitakaze. Let's go play the Z46. Let's go play the Black. Let's go play. Pick 1, maybe 2 ships and just stick with those 2 pretty much throughout their rank season. Just so you can keep your mental state the same, and you're not jumping up. Okay, I got to be aggressive here. Okay, now I have to be passive here, and you end up being passive in boats that you should be aggressive in, and it is kind of confusing. So some of the tips that I've gotten from some of the people that I respect, BJ or some of the other guys in the community contributor pool that we were talking about the other day. Their biggest tip for rank season is to basically stick with 1, maybe 2 boats, and just ride those out there. Win or lose, ride those out there. And if you start losing more than you're winning, then go ahead and make a switch to the next boat. So there it is. Any last minute thoughts on rank season, bro?
I mean, I would stick with the same thing like you mentioned there, too. Stick with the one particular boat. If it's not working out for you on that one particular boat, try to use something else, but don't switch between them. That was one of my mistakes when I first started getting into ranked early, like a couple of years ago. I switched between the Błyskawica and Mahan, and just those 2 particular type of boats are very different.
Way different play styles.
Yeah, so it would screw me up when I'm like aiming at 1, but this is with AFT was like around, and the Błyskawica carried me into that ranked. But, the Mahan, every time I switched to it, it was just like, I'm trying to carry here or try to carry there. Just because they're destroyers doesn't mean they're the same boat.
Right.
So stick with 1 boat, stick with 1 very similar boat. That's why I was mentioning like the Black and the Fletcher. Even though the Black has the radar, the Fletcher and the Black are very similar. But they just, they have a little bit of a different play style, but it's not drastic. So, yeah.
That's a fair assessment there, and I do agree with that. All right, guys. So even if you wanted to play the Chungmu there, I wouldn't recommend playing the Chungmu, but that's also a Fletcher class boat. So just FYI, guys. We're hanging out with my man HYF1RE. You guys can hit him up over on his Twitter at HYF1RE, HYF1RE, or you guys can hit him up over on his Facebook page where he does his streaming at fb.gg/HYF1RE, spelled the same way. You guys are hanging out here at twitch.tv/SirVenomIK, or hit me up on the Twitter at Sir_Venom_IK. Guys, we're going into our last topic here, and this is kind of a long topic, so bear with us here as we go through and look back at what happened in the year 2018. This is something I wanted to do before, but never really had the time to because so much was going on. But also, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything that we were talking about here this evening, please go ahead and type it in at SirVenomIK, at HYF1RE, or at one of the mods, and they will get it to us, and we will answer those questions coming up here in just a little while. So, all right, 2018. This is probably one of the busiest years I've ever seen for wargaming, and I'm just going to read a couple of things here, and I want you guys to understand it, how much crap that they did for us as the players, and how much stuff has come out. So, Space Battle Mode started in April. The Arms Race Battle Mode. The subs proof of concept. All right, so this was the Halloween event. What'd you think of the subs?
Not to keep hitting a subject that's controversial like the CVs. Mm-hmm. You know how much the CVs change in the gameplay of this game.
Yeah,
subs will do the same thing. You put subs in there, it's going to change the way this game plays. Period.
Again, well, it's going to be a drastic change as well. Do you think now? Personally, I don't think that the subs have a place in the game at doing in that what we saw there, unless they make some big changes or something. Then I really don't think subs have a place if in that particular instance in the regular game.
I thought it was pretty fun though, but again, though, there's a learning curve. So some people came in and just had no idea, ran their ships from down below, and then there's other ones that did really well and got the hang of it really quickly. And it'll do the same thing if they implement this on a live scale. You're gonna have people that have no idea what they're doing. They're gonna run into mistakes and they're gonna run into things that you saw in the Halloween mode. And then there's gonna be guys that are just gonna be absolutely devastating with them.
Yeah, well, I mean, that kind of goes with any change that they make. Yeah. I know the stealth fire nerf hurt a lot of people in the way that they play, and they had to reload it, relearn the game. Also, with the smoke change, they had to relearn the game again, which I still think they did the smoke change wrong, but I'm going to keep that to myself.
They're about to change the radar mode too.
Radar's up and coming. Radar mode's going to change. Honestly, dude, it's a wash. Really, I don't think. Honestly. To fix it, in my opinion, leave everything the way it is, except reduce the times. Reduce the times. That's it. And there's no reason to have a minute long radar. I know it's 50 some odd seconds on the Americans. Cut that down to 35 seconds max, and keep everything else below 35 seconds. Moving forward, and then it's legit because all it does is slow down the game. That's basically all it's doing, and the only way to counter that radar is to not be there. And that's pushing the game further and further away from each other. All right, the next one we had the Twilight Battles, which is a battle royale proof of concept. What'd you think of that? Did you play any of those?
I actually really enjoyed that. And the main thing that I really remember on this is the what was it? The Devastator, the North Carolina. Mm-hmm. Having the extremely tight shells.
The dispersion.
Oh, dude.
Wasn't it beautiful?
I'd be like, I sit there and I wait, give me the broadside, activate,
hey.
Woo, go.
Yeah, out of there. I honestly, man, I would like to have that dispersion on a really small caliber battleship. Like an 11-inch gun or a 10-inch gun at that, and just call it a battleship, and just have like barely any damage, but goddamn it, it's the most accurate thing out there, and just be able to just broadside and obliterate anything. And that's what I want.
When I saw that, I just didn't think the physics of the game would allow it, but they do, and it kind of really reminded me of like a first-person shooter. Like when you shoot that target, it's like it hit, and it hit hard.
Yeah, and you know the best part about that is that the ability to make these changes and get them to where it's like that is in the game. So they know what they're doing, guys. Board gaming knows what they're doing when they change some of these dispersion factors on the boats to make them less accurate because it would be too strong. A la the Germans. The reason the Germans are so crappy is because their dispersion is so questionable and suspect. But if you have them accurate, they're going to be strong. They're going to be too strong. But that's neither here nor there. All right, some local weather. The floating weather pattern. You guys saw it in the space battles coming across. That would just travel across the map. You see it in islands of ice with the big snowstorm in the middle. What do you guys think of these?
When I first started streaming over there on Facebook, this local weather pattern with the April Fool's actual gameplay was when I first started streaming there. That was the content. So when someone like tuned in to World of Warships, they were like, "What is this space battle stuff?" It's kind of strange. Mm-hmm. But that local weather stuff, when they implemented it onto the live server, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked it because it changed the environment. It's not just a standard weather, clear sky kind of thing. And when you get in the middle of it, I don't know if you've ever seen, but have you ever seen like the Massachusetts, the black version, go into one of those things and you're like, where the heck is it?
Yeah, that's what camo actually works, bro.
Right. I enjoy it. I like it.
Yeah. I thought it's interesting. It's an interesting concept, and I like the way they've implemented on just a few maps. And
not every one of them, right?
Not every one of them, and I'm still not a fan of the Cyclone. The Cyclone ends up losing me more games than it does winning me more games when it pops out, because we'll be in a big, huge lead, and then they'll just ball up together and just push, and there's nothing you can do. It's very frustrating, the Cyclones. So get rid of the Cyclones, bring in them thunderstorms, man. I'll be all right.
I'm not sure if you were paying attention or if you're listening to one of the panels before with shooting the ships. We had suggested an Eye of the Storm kind of concept, where kind of like a battle royale, but the ships, you can't see them unless you get into the center. So if you're out on the outside in the storm weather, you can't see any other ships unless you're in the center. So it's something that kind of came across on our panel stuff, and I don't know if you would like that. What do you think about that? Like having like an Eye of the Storm kind of concept, where if you're outside of the eye, you're pretty much in a cyclone. You can't see anything. But once you're inside,
certain limits. But can they see you from inside to the outside? That's the question.
Well, I mean, theoretically, it's all cloud cover and everything else. So you wouldn't, if you're inside, you're not going to be able to see the guys on the outside until they come in. There,
it wouldn't be. It'd be something to actually get in and try. I really couldn't say. I couldn't say no. It would be terrible. But no, I think it has merit. But just until I actually was able to get in there and see the mechanics of it,
right?
It would be an interesting change. But overall, local weather, I think it was a good idea. What do you think overall?
It's good.
More content, more differentiation in the gameplay, so the gameplay doesn't get stale, which I think is a big problem for a lot of people. Not necessarily a lot of people, but the majority of the quote unquote 1%ers that have 10,000, 12,000 games or whatever. Any kind of differentiation in the play in the content is good for me. I don't know about you.
No, I think newer content, changing the battle, not having the same kind of battle over and over and over.
Yeah.
Good.
It definitely some of the monotony. Moving forward here, the night battle, Cherry Blossom. Did you play this op?
I played it just a bit. Still, to me, it was a little bit confusing because I think halfway through the battle you get the sunrise.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about it. I mean, I know like it's nighttime. Nighttime ships.
And then it's just like the flare would come up, and you don't really have like don't go into that flare or there's gonna get spotted kind of thing.
Right.
So.
And then when you get spotted, then the short batteries would blast you, and then it's just the whole Bastion debacle all over again.
It's a good concept. I just maybe think do a little warning when you're about to get spotted if you enter this kind of zone.
Right.
Offshore batteries are gonna kill you if you get in here.
So some new releases that they've come out with over the next. Also, the new CV gameplay. We've already talked about that, and give me a brief CV concept here. What do you think of the implementation and the changes they've made?
I mean, like I said, it's a drastic change to the game. Talking British carriers, that might be a different topic, but it's a step in the right direction, I would say, because it's taken away from that third person, that top down strategic thing where a lot of players did get used to, but it's a very different disconnection with the game itself. When I started streaming, the concept of the rocket planes, it felt like there was more action than just watching some run around with planes from above. So when a viewer would come into the stream not knowing what World of Warships is, they see just the top down and they see a bunch of planes running around. They have no idea what's going on. Chess game or something. But when they jump into World of Warships now and they've never seen it, they see planes flying around, rocketing or bombing or torpedoing, and they see a bunch of other ships around. It's more visual. It's there in your face, not than just top down kind of thing.
Puts you more into the action, which I agree with. I mean, you can see and you can really see it on the Lexington and the Shikaku Halloween camo.
Yes.
Those are really beautiful, by the way.
I'm glad they kept those.
Yeah, I am too. And this just gives them opportunity to put more content out later on, where you can, hey, anybody want the Blue Angels skin for the Lexington? Here you go. Or the Fighting Falcons, the Air Force, whatever it is, their F-16. I don't know what the Air Force is.
More content, man.
Yeah,
Need more content.
Here you go. Stars and Stripes Lexington, or Land of the Rising Sun Zeros, or whatever. With the whole Japanese camo flag going across the entire thing. I mean, that would be dope, and I would buy into some of those. I don't know about you guys. What do y'all think about that? That'd be awesome. All right, so French battleships came out this year, or came out in 2018. I enjoyed all these from 8 and above. Tier 6 was okay. 7 I'm not a fan of, but 8, 9, and 10 are fantastic.
I enjoyed playing them. And all the way up until the same thing with like the Jane Bart, but to me, it's not a line that I go to every day. So it was something different. It was fun at the moment. Got through them, had fun with them, but then when it comes to ship with choice and stuff, sometimes the French battleships are just not on the top of my list.
Right. So the French battleships are characterized by very fast edge lords. I like to call them edge lords. I don't know really what you want to call them, but they are not they're not tanky at all. And their guns are relatively small until you hit the Republic at tier 10. Even the Bourguignon and the JB that came out, they're also 15-inch guns. Everything is 15-inch guns from tier 8 and above. So you have to really pick your shots, and they do very well holding a flank or pushing a flank. But they are not tanky. They're not up in your face boats. They are long range spammers. And hey, feel free to swap over. Use that expert reloader and use your HE and spam that. And then when somebody goes broadside, absolutely dominate them with those 15-inch guns.
Yeah. Pretty
good concept there. Overall, I think the battleships, the French battleships, my hierarchy of battleships went from the U.S. is number 1, then the French number 2, Japanese number 3, and then the other ones aren't really considered battleships in my eyes. The Germans are terrible, and the British are just a meme. They're pretty bad up until you hit tier 9. I know some people are like, oh, but the King George is great. I didn't enjoy it, but the Lion and the Conqueror are the epitome of those two lines, and I think that's where those two lines actually get good, in my own personal opinion. But what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. The U.S. light cruiser line split happened in 2018, which was very good. The Dallas and the Helena, oh my God, these things are amazing boats. Especially the Helena. I think the Helena, it's just another really strong cruiser at Tier 7, and Tier 7 has got a shitload of good cruisers. And it's a cruiser-heavy line. We said it earlier when we were talking about ranked. You got the Belfast, you got the Flint, the Atlanta's all there at Tier 7. Now you have, what else? The Shores is good. I don't know. You pick. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
The Helena's there, and Fantastic,
What was-
fantastic things.
Yeah. When I knew about that line coming around, I was trying to give everybody kind of heads up, like try to get these ships, just keep them in your port, because I've been around since World Tanks too, and remember the KV split, what ended up happening, or even the IS-4 and IS-7 split. Now, this is back in the day where IS-4 was a tier 9, IS-7 was a tier 10, but ended up when they split up, the IS-4 became a tier 10. So it was like, just get the tier, both of them there, keep them in your garage, and then you got a free tier 10. I mean, what can go wrong? So when that split came around, I was all for it. Free ships, if you had them there, and then to me it was a different type of ship play rather than being all like Des Moines, where kind of a mini battleship, front end bow tanking. Sometimes you can actually fire over islands, and with the Worcester being like the American version of the Minotaur. When I was streaming on Facebook, there is like when they saw the Worcester, everybody, what's the ship? What's the ship?
Yeah, what's this?
It was just like,
yeah.
it was constantly firing, starting fires everywhere. So it's like, yeah, I enjoyed it, and I think it's a really good split for them.
I think it was a great split. I mean, all the way up. You took the Cleveland from 6 and pushed it to 8, which is fine, and it does very well at 8. A little bit on the shorter the range side, but I think they extended it out to 16, didn't they?
I think so.
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember. Either way, let's just put it this way: the one that they just put out, the Wichita, is a very nice boat. 203s. It's got 15.8 kilometer range. Well, let's put this into perspective for you, because some people were telling me, it's very short range. I'm like, that's the same range as the Otago, 15.8. Yep. So yep. I mean, it's fine, and it's got a 9.5 kilometer detection. It's got a 9 kilometer radar. And these things are very flat guns. They don't have the high typical American arcs that you would think.
My interpretation was like it was kind of a mini Des Moines. When I was playing it, I felt like I was liking a Des Moines, a little bit less maneuverable as a Des Moines, a little smaller, obviously. But where I was positioning, normally it would be something like a Des Moines position, because it's the flat arc 203s, the radar, that kind of thing. So, and you still have a little of that bow armor kind of there. But, you can't rely on it at tier 8. But if you're up tiered, though, you can do pretty well with it.
Yeah. You don't. I mean, tier 8. You always look for those boats that can handle themselves when you're in tier 10 games, because the majority of the time you're going to be tier 10 anyway. Right now, still, which. We won't go into that, because that's another that's a whole podcast on its own. But either way, North Carolina comes to mind, can handle himself at tier 10. Some of these other boats, some of the cruisers that can handle Otago can handle himself. This one, Wichita, seems to handle it fine. I've only played a handful of games, so I really don't have too much ins and outs of this thing yet. But I've not had any problems with it. Citadel's people with the HAP on the side, just as good as any other 203 does. The 203 HE chance is relatively good. It's an American, so it's got decent AA, and it's got a radar that goes 9 kilometers. So it's, for what it is, at tier 8, it's pretty solid, and it just fits right in line with the rest of the boats, man. They're American cruisers, other than a little bit squishy, have always had pretty damn good guns. So you can't go wrong with that. All right,
absolutely.
Moving on into British destroyers released also in 2018, which I think is phenomenal. These things are ridiculously good. Starting at about, I would say tier 7 is when I think they start getting good. You can argue for tier 5 and tier 6, but for where they really start taking off is tier 7, and then the Lightning, and then the Jutland, and then the Daring they're all really, really strong moving forward. Thoughts?
Just you need to have like a higher skill captain on the tier 9s and tier 10s, just like the gunboat destroyers for the Japanese, to be fairly effective. But I mean, you can still get away with just using a lot of AP rounds too with them. A lot of people don't realize if you use a lot of AP rounds on superstructures, if the ship's already on fire, you do a lot of paper cuts over time. So that rate of fire can do a lot.
Something with the Kitakaze that I not necessarily learned, but I mean I've known, but I've actually showcased a little bit. Not that I'm a showcase showdown over here. Price is wrong, Bob. But that you can do is when you set a battleship on fire, and they're just sitting broadside to you, man, you can fire volleys that will, one 2 shells at a time. Just hold the button down in the Kitakaze and get 1,000, 3,000. And AP is good on the broadside of these things, but try to make sure that they're on fire first. And that's that way you're getting double ticks. You're getting a tick from the fire plus then swap over to the AP to make it effective. I think personally.
So if you use that same type of concept up in the tier 9, tier 10s for the British destroyers, you're right up their alley. You're good.
Yeah, and they're very aggressive boats too. With that short radar or the short hydro that they have at 3 kilometers, it's more of a defensive hydro, but you can still control the middle of the board. This is what we found out with the Jutland in rank season this time around. The Jutlans, the good Jutlans, will go and dominate that middle of the board. And if you can dominate that middle of the board, you're gonna probably
golden.
win.
Yeah, you see all those torpedoes. You give all your friends in the back early warnings and all that stuff. Yeah.
What else? What else has come out this year? The high school fleet camos, the Azure Lane camos came out. Also, collections have come out this year, more collections came out because I know they came back in 2017. But some pretty good collections. You can, if you're available or you're around at the time that these things are available, you can get some pretty cool stuff out of there. The different color camos for the Japanese boats that come to mind, the different colors for the Americans. The new one that's coming up is going to be different colors for the British boats that's coming up soon. Which I don't know if it's 8.1 or 8.2, but they did say it was coming soon. So
did Ovechkin come out this last year or was it this year?
Oh, Ovechkin, I think he came out last year. I don't remember.
Was it last year? So one of the things that when I was at the summit that I got word of was the campaign.
Say that again.
The Halsey captain, the campaign.
The Halsey captain came out also. The American hero commander, Admiral Halsey. Also, another campaign came out for Halsey to get him. I can't remember when Yamamoto came out. I think that was 17. But those campaigns for new players, I always tell them to go do those because those are going to give you a lot of flags. They're going to give you a lot of camo. You kind of learn what you need to focus on and learn how to get those particular skills done, and that'll help you in the long run. You can just meld it in with the rest of your skill set. I need torpedo hits. Okay, well, let's go figure out how to torpedo somebody. I need, blah, blah, blah. Let's go figure out how to do that. Plus, at the end of the one, you get a week of premium time on the Science of Victory. You get the Shinonome still out there for the other one.
You get some badass captains too.
Some captains.
Yeah. So when the Halsey captain, it basically, I think I might be coming out. When it came out, it forced you to use the tier 10 cruisers, which is right around the same time as the split for the Worcester as well. So if you didn't like the Des Moines, you can go up the other line to get the Worcester and those other missions as well to get the Halsey captain. One of the things that really pumped up my numbers over there while I was streaming on Facebook was actually using the Des Moines and wrecking pub matches one after another, lighting everything on fire. And they enjoyed that high action on there because it's the Des Moines. You can be fairly aggressive in certain maps and do really well. So I was not only working for the legendary weapons or legendary mods for the Des Moines, I was also working for the Halsey captain, and the Des Moines was the class that was it. I had, after that was all completed, I had people constantly coming into the stream. I want to see Des Moines. 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 Even though I've already completed it.
Yeah, you're like, people have their boats. I mean, I come in there, hey guys, what do y'all want to see? Because I really don't care what we play. If I'm playing a division with somebody, I would rather them just grind out whatever they're grinding out on, but so I can maybe help them out because I got boats everywhere. And so I throw it out there, and inevitably somebody's like, play the Omaha, and I'm like, no, I don't want to play that garbage, or play the Atlanta, and I play the Atlanta. Atlanta's my favorite boat in this game, hands down. I've got over 2 million experience on that thing. Which is legit 100%. I've never pulled any experience off converting that. That is 2 million experience on one boat alone.
Wow.
Which is impressive. And then just think about it. The Flint, I have 1.6. Yeah.
Wow.
I love those boats. Those boats are my favorite. Now, I don't know I haven't really played them since the CV rework, so I don't know how they stack up now. But before they were just AA monsters. But
so this particular season in ranked, if you drop back on topics of captains, I have seen Yamamoto captains, I have seen eviction captains, and I've seen Halsey captains,
seen
all in the season rank. Yep.
Me personally, I was playing one of them Von Jutland guys, or whatever they were, the German ones that were quote unquote special, but none of their skills were really effective. I thought Vigilance might give me a ship, but it's only for torpedoes, so I didn't even take that on that. So I like this eventually, guys. We're going to see a special captain for each line. Maybe two or three special captains that actually are like the Yamamoto guy and actually like Halsey, where they have special abilities. Speaking of special abilities on those captains, have you ever gotten any of those? I mean, like finished them out, the whole thing?
Yeah, I got them all. I have the Yamamoto.
No. I mean the actual ability. Like you get first blood, you get all this other stuff.
No, yeah. So my Ibuki, I have the Yamamoto captain. No, I'm not going to ever probably get a Kraken. Every once in a while, I do run across getting the first blood. I mean, everybody focuses the destroyer. I'm focusing them too. I land the last shot. Bam, fireworks. But that's the only thing. So I keep it kind of. I don't use the red shells to give away like I'm using the Yamamoto, and I don't use the flag.
Smart.
But I use the fireworks. So when I do get that first blood. Fireworks. But, all right, I got to keep that at least.
Yeah, I know. I've out of all the times, I usually put my Yamamoto captain on my battleships. He's my Musashi Yamato captain. So when I do it, I've only ever gotten the Kraken one time actually playing this guy, which I don't play very often. But then I proceeded to get 3 more kills after that, so I ended up with a Yamato at 8-kill game at tier 10.
Wow.
Which doesn't happen very often. I've done it before in like tier 5, so you'd see it more common down there. But I've never seen it at tier 8 or tier 10. Basically, is what it was. But
that was so my first 10-kill game. Yeah, was with the Yamamoto in the Haragumo.
Harigumbo, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane.
Insane.
All right, so also 2018, some really special things that come out. They have given you 6 high-tier premium ships, albeit the Stalingrad, the Kronstadt, the Musashi, the John Bart, the Beef Bourguignon, and the Salem.
I've got the Salem, Jane Bart, Kristant, and the Musashi. I don't have... Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead. I have them all except for the Stalingrad.
Yeah, I don't have the Stalingrad or the Burgundy.
No, I got the Beef Bourguignon after the last clan battle season. I was very short on the steel, and was able to pick that up there. It's not bad. It's just an Alsace, the old Alsace, which was very good.
Bourguignon.
Beef Bourguignon, yeah, man. I don't know how to say it. I'm not French. It is shit.
I used to say Bourgogne too.
So there you go. There's six opportunities. Also, they've put out 27 premium ships in the year 2018. Wow. 27 premium ships to bring new things in. So this begs to, what's your favorite ship that's come out in 2017?
So this one in particular,
2018, excuse me.
For 2018, yeah. Some of you guys know that my Vita and my Missouri are top ones up there, but they didn't get released in 2018. So last year, some of the surprising ones came around have been the Massachusetts, and in particular, after someone brought to my attention that I should use IFHE for secondary build. After that, I was like, what? So I tried it out, and sure enough, 2 other Massachusetts with me, I was doing damage to them, but they weren't doing damage to me with their secondaries. So from there on out, it was just it's like a mini Tirpitz, but actually has gun accuracy. And then when the black version came out, it's like, man, it's like it's great, it's golden. So that was kind of a surprise because it kind of the black versions came out at the end of the year.
Yeah, I was really surprised when it came out. Yeah. I didn't end up getting any of those out of those boxes, and I wasn't buying them. So I was kind of a little left out on it. But I've already got the regular ones, so I don't need these other boats. So I wasn't too upset at not getting them. And number one, number two, it's a Tirpitz and it's a Massachusetts, or what I like to call it, the Douchechusetts, because I play it like. Because I play it like an asshole, and just that's all I do is I up Massachusetts. Okay, let's go secondaries. That's it, because that's the only thing that boat is good at. It's terrible. The guns can't hit squat. I literally had a broadside Demonis from 6 kilometers, and I fired and I shot 2 shells in the front of the guy and 1 shell behind him from 6K.
Wow.
And that's 700 feet of difference. 730 feet long that Demonis is, right? So 700 feet. I was like, this boat's terrible. I can't hit anything. And it pisses me off when you have boats that are typically good. And don't get me wrong, I've dev struck people with the boat. It's just the inconsistencies of the dispersion on that boat drive me absolutely batty. Especially when you need to count on something and you cannot get it done.
Right.
Which is where I find that the German battleships fail, because you end up taking too much damage to try to put these people down.
So on the flip side, though, the other one that has pretty good accuracy is the Musashi.
Yes.
So being like a Yamamoto, if you know how to play that ship, you can be very comfortable with the Musashi. And be it, if you have 3 battleships in a division, some people might call it a failed division, but when you get 3 Musashis that know the map and work really well, they can wreck those games.
They smash.
We did this one night. We got 3 of us, Armor Guppy, myself, from Madmaster Gaming, all on Facebook. We all streamed, all 3 of us Musashis. We had like literally 90% win ratio for the entire night.
It's like, hey guys, it's almost like having a 36 gun salute with 3 Lions going in the same the tier 7 Lions going into the same deal, man. Just okay, I'm shooting at this guy. All right, got you. Copy. 3, 2, 1, go. Bam. And then hey, where'd that guy go? He died. So what your best premiums were the Massachusetts and the Musashi.
Yes.
Mine are the Cossack, which is one of the best boats that they put out, in my opinion, and then the Boise and the Wavy de Julio / because they're the same boat. I find that boat it's just strong. It's just real strong. Even though it's got a short range on it, it's probably one of the strongest cruisers at tier 7.
I like all those. I like those 3 too.
Yeah. So good. Some other notables. Surprisingly enough, the Roma is relatively tanky. And it's got one of the best accuracies for tier 8, which is saying a lot, because you're coming off of 2.0s from like the North Carolinas or whatever, but or one of the best pin values, at tier 8. And even though it has 15-inch guns, I've still been able to actually do some pin values, man. And it's kind of surprising sometimes.
I don't play the Roma enough. I really should play it more often, because it is a fun boat.
When did the PEF come out? Was that this year?
Prince
Bottom of the barrel. I don't care where it came out. It's bottom of the barrel. It's the worst damn premium. But it was for free.
It's a New Year's shit. PEF. It's a mixed bag. Some people like it. Some people don't.
Yeah, I've never really liked it. All right. So they had torpedo warning improvements, which there's still bugs on it where I get torpedoes showing up on my deal, and I turn and look and there's nothing there. Mini map fixes. They had some training room. They actually implemented the training room to where you can now do it without having to get a mod, which is great. I don't know how much of the training room do you actually use?
So real quick, I wanted to drop on that topic for the torpedo warning system. That was one of the things I brought when I was there in Russia. As I told them, your torpedo warnings from friendlies and stuff is, I'd like to have something a little more advanced warnings from your friendlies sending torpedoes to, because it seems like a lot of people run into them. So I don't think they didn't really take my concept of like lines in the water, early warning systems from your friends kind of thing on that, but
right.
Still did kind of an improvement for it. But I still think they can still improve on that.
I think they could still improve. We saw something last night that got on my nerves, and I clipped it a couple of times and put it out in the CV feedback channel there in the community contributor Discord, of these torpedoes not showing up on the board until they're activated. That
Yeah.
is driving me batty when they've got 5 and 6 and 8 torpedoes coming in from a hack that are coming right up on me, and you can't see them other than the water trails. I'm thinking,
You know what?
That drives me
this-
nuts.
This was happening. Okay, so I had a stream with Tori, and we were both on the server, and we were just playing tier 7s, and literally I was a torpedo magnet, but I would not see him or hear him until last minute. We were joking around constantly because I keep getting torpedoed left and right, and there's like no warning for it. It's like, what the heck?
So I'm thinking that maybe they could implement something like a hollowed out triangle, to where hey, here's your torpedo. Because I've had these guys. I had my hydro up. I was playing a 52, and I had my hydro up, and I'm like, what is this? What is this, guys? And I have my hydro up, and the torpedoes aren't showing up on the map, or showing up where I can actually see them. And they're like, oh, those aren't activated. You don't have to worry about that. Oh, goddamn right, I want to worry about where they are so I can avoid them. And just in case they do, because I don't know how long these things are going to take to activate, I should be able to see that. I think they need to make that fix.
It needs improvement.
Yeah, and I put that in as a feedback, but I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think, man? They added commander skill suggestions, which is good for new players. This is no good. There's no reason to take emergency takeoff on your battleship. They took that away. Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. The funny thing about it is you bring that Massachusetts with you, and IFHE is not recommended.
Well, I mean, I do it anyway.
Yeah.
Why? Because I have deemed it to do Massachusetts, you know. But either way, Mod Station, they implemented the Mod Station last year. So if anybody that out there uses mods, I don't personally use mods. If you guys wanted to use mods, you guys can go to the forums. And somebody wants to link that for me, I'll put it in the description below for all you guys over on the YouTube channel. Also, custom national flags. Minor, it's a little flavor text. It's a little flavor. Don't really bother me one bit. The anti-abuse system changes from pink to orange.
That's been pretty good, actually.
I've yet to go orange.
Yeah, I haven't gotten orange yet either. But we're fairly average. The lower than average probably can go in orange, or the ones that are trolly.
Right. They can forget the co-op players can deal with those guys. And if they're playing in co-op, then they can't complain. At least they have players to play against, even if they're orange. Let's see. They lowered the amount of DDs per game, which I always thought was good. I thought 6 was too many. I still think 5 is a little bit too many. 3 is not enough, and I think 4 is right at the sweet spot. But I'm okay with 5.
I'm good with that too.
Yeah.
There's been some rounds where it's like in the past, it's like there's way too many destroyers going on.
Yeah, and it just kind of messes up the rest of the game. Snowflakes. Snowflake event.
Man.
This is a hot button topic here not necessarily in here. I didn't really appreciate it because they have the steel that you're giving away for people who ranked out, and it's kind of a smack in the face for these people that have earned their rank outs to give away the flint, to give away the black like that. Whether you still have to grind it out or you could play clan battles and still get it. Give them motherships for clan battles, man. Don't take away my achievement.
Yeah, see, I'm on the opposite sport on that. Yeah. See, I have a clan that doesn't do a lot of clan battles.
I have a clan that doesn't do a lot of clan battles either, and that's a rank thing. I busted my ass five ranked seasons to get that black, and then after that I got that black, the very next patch they got rid of it. They had brought out the arsenal right as so. I mean, I feel proud of my black. The compensation otherwise is that people can get the flint, but unless they want this red camo, they have to grind out for the copper now, which I guess it's a kind of a consolation, but kind of frustrating to see where people can just go dual wield that credit card and just basically buy this thing, a la the Steel Monsters campaign, which was $45 or however much it was, $60 I think. That people could get a substantial amount of steel and buy the ship that I had just busted my ass for almost a year and a half or 2 years, 5 rank seasons. It's kind of a smack in the face in my opinion, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like I said though, it's there. we have a clan that's more of a casual kind of thing, and you still have to kind of reward those guys that have been faithful for the game but can't get in like a good team. So you got to have a little bit. I mean, I don't even have the Stalingrad. Can't get enough. I can't get enough steel from even the ranked as well. But there are people that have done all the ranked seasons,
Yeah.
and they ranked out, and they're able to get it without even doing a clan war. So because of the amount of ranked seasons they've already completed, I'm not in that boat. But then again, though, it's a lot of our guys in the clan itself. We attempted to do clan battles, but we are a casual kind of thing.
Schedules, I totally understand. I think this next Clan War season, I think we're going to actually give it a good hard attempt. I've decided I want to play one full on season and just get us up to as far as we can go before everybody's schedule and timings and everything kind of fall apart. But that's our goal for this next season. Is just do as much of it as we can. Do it on stream. Watch and everybody can see the grind and we can adjust and get better together as a clan. And just to say that yes, we've done it. We made the purple league, whatever it's called. We've made the purple league one time, and that's fine, and I'm good with that. I don't ever care. I really don't care about clan wars, for the simple fact that I don't like to lose high fire. And if you're in my clan and I don't like to lose, I get real bitchy when I start losing. And if I get bitchy, I'm gonna bitch at everybody, and I don't want to ruin the clan that helped me, number one, build the stream, number two, build up a really decent clan where a lot of people are really decent players. I don't want that to explode.
I'm on the same boat, man.
Yeah.
We get together, we try to do clan battles, and then we're bickering at each other back and forth. And these guys are my direct supporters.
Yeah, and that's one reason why I've kind of just just kind of shied away from it. Now I play every once in a while. If somebody wants, we need another guy. Okay, fine, I'll play. But for the most part, I don't want to be in charge. I just want to be there. I just want to just play. That's it.
Yep.
When it comes to those, let's see. Moving down, directives and missions. They've changed up the daily missions to where now you have chains that you can do. That's always fun. What do you think of these?
I enjoy them. Shit. Yeah, I enjoy them, especially for new accounts on other servers. Yeah. When a server or so that I'm not really active on, I just log in every once in a while. It's like, hey, here's a free super container if you log in for 2 more days. I'm like, huh?
All right.
So I'm like, that's cool.
All right, there you go.
Log in more, yeah.
Daily shipments are involved in that as well. You can get some free flags, free camos, whatever, free container, as it were. That's always fun. The Arsenal updated, which I think the Arsenal update is pretty good. I mean, I like the Arsenal. I can now go and take all the 120,000, 200,000 coal that I got and go buy goddamn dead flags.
Yeah.
Like that, like literally tonight, guys. I will spend 30,000 on dead flags just to do it.
Yep.
That's it, just because I can. And I so many times, and being a ranked player as you are, you understand what it is. So you would play these games in ranked, would use up all your dead flags, and then throughout the rest of the time, you would just farm your dead flags. That's basically the way a lot of people have played the game for the ranked season. We're just, okay, guys, let's do this. Let's get our ranked on. Okay, we're out of dead flags. Okay, well, now that we're done with ranked, we're out of dead flags. Ranked season's over. Let's go not have dead flags on. And
it's always that one time, man. You're doing the entire season. You're at rank 3 or 2 right there. You ran out of dead flags. You don't know about it. And then all of a sudden you get detonated,
you're like,
and that's it. You're like, God dang it, dude! I'm a noob.
And then everybody laughs at you. Yeah. We had a couple of them there this season where guys were detonated early on in the game, and it's always frustrating to see when you're counting on this guy to do something and he detonates first volley,
right.
And I'm just like, well, not the first volley anymore, 75% down, but still. It can happen in the one volley because I've had it happen to me before, where a guy hit me, citadel'd me. It was actually my clanmate that did it. Fits in your mom or fits in your aff now. He comes in there, he shoots me, he citadels me with the first shot. And then the second bullet came in and detonated me on one volley. Man, I was so mad. I was like, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen like that. And on the one volley, it was like, rawr. We slowed it down. I played it back a couple of times and said the shots were off just enough to where the front hit me, citadel'd me, the back gun hit me, and boom, I was gone.
Wow.
I was like, wow, that's impressive. But that happens every once in a while. So it's always nice to have the arsenal there as a quick reference to go get me a debt flag, yeah, if I need them. Also, they put out new currencies. They have the steel currency, the copper currency. After you can only get 1 copper per rank season if you rank up, and then you have to get 3 of them to get the black camo or the flint camo. That's it. That's all you can use right now.
Have you seen those in the arsenal where you can use the special copper to pick up special camouflages for certain ships?
Yeah. Now I've got the flint one, but I haven't got the black one. I was like, I don't really want the black. I don't play the black enough to warrant another camo for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other than that, then they have the molybdenum. They have the Molly. Well, I don't know. They're looking for Molly.
Molybdenum. Yeah.
That's for clan battles. If they get the clan battles, the only thing that I can see that you can use that for is the Stalingrad camo.
Pretty much.
That's it.
Just more exclusivity.
Yeah. They also added commanders to the arsenal, which I found pretty good. You can spend 1,000 doubloons, 1,500 doubloons, whatever it is, and get a particular commander. I recommend John Doe's brother, George Doe. Get the George Doe guy. Get the Charles Horny, whatever, John Jack Horny. You had the Charles Henry Horny, I guess. Get that guy. Those are fantastic. The other, Viktor Znamensky and his brother, for the Russian guys, they're okay. I don't know what you're going to use them on. Maybe the new Russian battleships that are coming out soon. Trademark?
Yes. Definitely want to use those the Vasal Znamensky. So yeah, you want to use those on the Russian battleships soon.
There you go. I didn't play the PTS PTR, whatever it's called. I didn't play those. Did you get a chance to play the Russian battleship guys?
No. Those particular captains do really well with the current October Revolution.
Translation: October Revolution.
October Sky Revolution.
That guy.
Screwed up anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next thing they did, rank sprints was a pretty fun thing. I liked the tier 5. Tier 6 was okay. I did not like the 7 versus 7 on that. Keep it to 5 or 6, and that was fine.
I'm with you on that too.
Yeah.
We had fun with it, especially if you just have one other guy that likes to play ship. You squad up with them all the time, get it done, and 7 versus 7 was a little too grindy.
Yeah, it was too much. We did it as few as we lost our first 2 games and then 1 out over on the EU server. I was playing the of all things, I was playing the Arizona in one of those rank seasons, and then HYF1RE, and then at tier 5 we was playing the Kamikaze and the Minakaze or Mitsuki, whatever the line ship is at 5. 5 there for the torpedo side of the Japanese. I think it's Mitsuki or the Minakaze. I don't remember. Either way, that's what we did. It was relatively good. 23 games, 1 season. I don't even think I ranked out the second one because of TwitchCon was happening during that first little event there. But
we did Kamikaze and Giulio Cesare combinations.
I was kind of surprised.
Giulio Cesare.
Yeah. The good old Giulio. That thing's going up to tier 6. What do you think of that?
Oh, well, you know what? It does really well at 5. So
it does really well. They did say that they were going to change the armor scheme of it from 19 mils to 25 millimeters, so that'll give it a little bit more tank. But I think that they need to revert the dispersion change that they did on it, because they did a dispersion factor change at tier 5, making it way too accurate for tier 5 boat, and made it way too strong. So if they revert that, then it becomes okay at tier 6.
Yeah.
And can handle tier 8 boats.
I think it used to be like a dispersion of a cruiser when it first was under testing. It was god accurate.
It's still pretty good today, even now. All right, so they also improved clan searching system. So if you guys are out there looking for a clan, you guys can look that up quicker. The new clan base was implemented, which is a second iteration of the clan base, which I think is better than it was before. And then numerous ranked and clan battle seasons. So that's pretty much a look back at 2018. What do you think is the best thing that they did in 2018?
I still think the campaigns, man. I had the most fun doing the Halsey Captain campaign because it forced me to use the Des Moines, which before I was really like not a fan of, but then I, grew into it and I liked it, and my stream liked it.
There you go. For me, for me, I really don't know, man. I played so many games. I actually took a month off of the game. I think what they did in 2018 that really solidified my enjoyment for the game coming back was the Anchors Away at Anaheim. I didn't go, but I watched the video and that little Q&A session that they did and the little presentation that Sub Octavian came over from Russia and did really put some life back into my feelings about it, because I was overplaying Star Trek Online at that point in time because I was just so frustrated with the game and just nothing was changing, and it kind of lit a fire back under me. It was like, they are absolutely addressing the things that I have a problem with, and it gave me renewed hope for the future for World of Warships. And I came back and went to TwitchCon, come back. We made community contributor first of January, in January, which I thought was pretty awesome. And the Twitch is growing here with the community, with the drops, the Twitch drops or whatever. That's a pretty good thing. That's been a real nice boost. We're seeing, as as a streamer, everything is kind of an up and down, roller coaster. You have some good highs and you got some pretty rough lows at times. And right now we're in the middle of a high, almost I would say almost start to a downturn on the viewers over here on Twitch
your guys' Twitch drops have really contributed to a lot of partnerships.
And you know what? I have sat there and I told people, I was like, these Twitch drops, put them in your damn title, bro. Every day is Twitch drop title. Now, I'm not sure if they're all coming in for that or just, the average content that we put out, but it has been a huge boost in the numbers, that we're seeing, the numbers that we're seeing on Twitch, and the numbers that we're seeing actually in the game. I mean, we had 4,000 or 5,000 people this time last year at prime time. Now we're sitting at 8,000 to 10,000. That's a pretty
12,000 right now.
Is it 12,000 right now? Mm-hmm. So we're at 9 o'clock my time.
Yep.
But anyway, guys, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, now is the time to get them in. As we are going to go into our Q&A session. We don't have too many. Too many questions so far, but we do have a few. If you guys want to ask any questions to myself or my man HYF1RE, go ahead and type them into the chat now. We are hanging out with my man HYF1RE. You can hit him up over on his Twitter at HYF1RE, HYF1RE, or you guys can hit him up on his stream when he streams, facebook.gg/HYF1RE, spelled the same way. If you guys are here in the chat, thank you very much for being here in the chat, twitch.tv/SirVenomIK. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you guys hit me up at the Twitter at Sir_Venom_IK. There you go.
So one of the questions that came up a while ago, actually from Whippet.
Hey, check it out. I got them all wrote down.
I think your moderator mentioned it to me too.
I've been copy pasting them out of the chat.
Is there the difficulty between streaming to platforms? There has been some. One of the first things that I noticed is that when you load up OBS, for example, when you have your Twitch link, everything ready to go, when you hit start, Twitch immediately brings it up and goes live with it. So Facebook, you have kind of like a leeway. You have like a pre. So that's really cool, but you still have to you kind of have to start it up and shut it down the same way. If you know what I mean. So once you hit your start, you get a preview there, then go live. Then when you want to wrap it up, you gotta stop your stream, then stop the other things. So there's just a little bit of things, but it's kind of cool because it's gives you kind of like a warning, like, hey, your bit rate's garbage. Something's going on with your ping. Do you really want to go live with that right away? Where Twitch, you can just click it and you're kind of going.
Yeah.
So there's been some setbacks on there, but the other thing is too that I've really noticed is the chat. So when someone can still actually go into your chat on Facebook as a page. So let's say SirVenomIK makes a page over on Facebook and he owns that business. He can actually chat as his business to my page. But sometimes that chat doesn't come up automatically. So I have to use another program to see that chat. This has happened to Blue KQ. So Blue KQ came in. He owns his own page there, but he was talking to me, but it wasn't coming up in the chat where everybody else can see. So there's some setbacks, there's some things, there's some quirks. They're working on it. Altogether, it's been working pretty well.
All right. First comment comes in from Zero Shiva 1029. It says, I don't agree with the winter rental program other than the trial bit of it. It's just a cash grab like renting a car rather than buying it or renting a house. I mean, I've got all these boats, and I know as community contributors we do have access to a lot of these boats, so buying something, I can totally understand where somebody that wasn't a community contributor that went and bought some of these ships, I would just not buy them. If I was skeptical about it, if I didn't want to drop the $40 on it, now, yeah, man, if I spend $5, I'm going to go ahead and learn how to do it in a week. Hell yeah, I'll definitely do that. I don't know about you, man.
I'll be honest. When you look at a premium ship, where do you guys go to? The community contributors that made reviews for it, right? Mm. So, you go to your favorite community contributor, he reviews the ship. Let's say you didn't like it, you're probably not going to buy it. But if you did like the way he plays it, maybe you will. But you didn't actually try it yourself. So you never really know until you try it. So if you drop $5 into it and you try it, you're not going to remorse the 45 or so, the full price of it if you don't like it.
Yeah. Going back to one of your favorite boats, the Bliss, I can't play that thing. I have tried. I have played that boat so many times, and I've played it as aggressive. I've played it as passive. I played it as nothing but a pure gun boat.
I love that boat.
I cannot get that goddamn thing to work for me. I know it's a good boat because I watched you play it. I've watched Jace play it. I watched Jace rank out and dominate in Tier 7 matches during that, and that's after the Stealthfire nerf. And I'm like, I don't get this boat. This boat just does not work for me. So I would definitely remiss if I bought that boat now. Because knowing, I'm like, I can't play this thing. I would much rather play something else at Tier 7 than the Bliss. Anything at Tier 7 and other than the Bliss. That's my personal opinion. So if I'd have rented it back then in 7 days and I'm actually watching you guys play it, I have $5. I don't want it. Fuck it. Yeah. I'd have been okay with that back in the day. But let's see. Mr. Erickson says clan battles are another good way to farm free XP and elite XP via stacking. I'm assuming you're meaning flag stacking and stuff like that, because you're guaranteed a minimum of free XP and elite XP.
Most everybody knows if you're bringing in a clan ship, you're probably going to want a maxed out captain already in the first place. So you just stack the flags in that.
That's it. That is true. But you don't get any extra bonus experience. Like some people were saying, I'm playing rank to get that bonus experience, and I'm like, there's no bonus experience in rank season. It's the same rank. It's the same experience that you get in regular games. It's just the fact that you're not having to put out as much. You're not having to buy anything. You're focused on this, and so you think that it's more. So same concept here. You're going to probably want to have a 19-point captain.
It coincides with your damage. If you haven't noticed, if you do your 200,000 damage in a game, you're probably going to walk away with 10,000 experience. But if you do, 30,000, you're probably going to walk away with 1,500 or 2,000 experience.
Yeah. Also, Zero Shiva says HYF1RE started streaming back when they chiseled stone tablets. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Zero Shiva says, what ship do you regret buying the most and why? That's a good question.
Yeah, it is. You know what? It's been a while. Let me see here. I think I did have a ship that I did pick up, and I regretted it. And shoot, it's been such a while, though. To be honest, I think it might have been the Prince Eugen when it didn't have its buffs.
Yeah, the Prince Eugene now is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's good.
Beforehand, it was just another hipper.
Yeah, that was something I picked up, and I was doing really well with it, but I never actually played it afterwards until they buffed it, and then I was like, yes.
K-Vetch down there says the Duke of York, his hands down, he shouldn't have bought that one. I got mine for free, so I don't care. Duke of York was one of those you could earn this boat, and it would have been fine. Man, I really don't know. I mean, pretty much. It had to be. I would have to say a cruiser because I enjoy enjoy the majority of the battleships. Most of the cruisers are okay. The destroyers, I play them or I don't play them, whatever. It had to be a cruiser, and I'm trying to decide which one do I hate, which one do I not like the most. Man, I don't know, bro. I don't know. That's such a hard question.
You just mentioned you didn't like the Muscovita.
Well, no, I mean, but I would still buy it because I know it. I know that if I really sat down to play this thing, I could figure it out. But I haven't. I just haven't done it. I would say the one that I hate the most that I really wouldn't wish I hadn't bought, The Sims. I can't stand that damn boat, bro. It's good under 6 kilometers, but that boat is just too loopy on its guns, and I just think the torps are terrible. The guns are well, now the torps are 10.5. So I mean, it makes it a little bit better, but they still do fuck all damage, and the guns are so freaking loopy. I wish I'd never bought it back then. Now it's fine, whatever. But other than being under 6 kilometers, that boat's terrible.
You tapping on two of my favorite ships.
Oh, I know.
And Sims, man.
Yeah, I know. Well, and it's all based on experience, right? It's my personal experience at Tier 7 in the Sims and the Bliskovica have been terrible because I'm going up against... When I got the Sims, the Belfast had come out recently, and so it was, okay, everybody's in a goddamn Belfast, and then the rank season happened, so I'm playing the Sims in the rank season, and I just could not put any other ship down. I could not get it to work because over 6 kilometers, the guns are too goddamn loopy, and under 6 kilometers, it's a beast. And when I would drop torpedoes on people, I would hit 4 and 5 of them for like 7 damage. It was stupid, and it's such a frustrating thing. But now in this rework, with the CB rework out there, and then they buff the torpedoes to 10.5 kilometers. They buff the damage on it a little bit, not too much, a little bit. It makes it a little bit more comparable, and it's okay longer ranges now. Plus, the AA is a freaking monster for these new CVs.
Yeah, that's true.
So that makes it that makes it up in a little bit mine. But before that, no, I could give a shit about it. Yeah. And I'm talking. This is a boat that I have 700,000+ experience on. So I've played it. I've played the hell out of this thing. Sergeant B. Cruel says, "Isn't better audio better than trying to get better video?"
Yes. Well, okay, hold on. Better audio is good. Video, as far as the quality of stream bitrate, is still good. Don't worry too much about the camera. I think we touched on this before. You can stream without a camera.
You can stream without a camera. B6
audio.
B6 made partner without a camera.
Yeah, that's one of the things on the article over there on Facebook Game is that get your audio down first, then worry about everything else.
And audio is not something. Audio is a ever shifting, funky thing that you could have it nice one day and the next day it's not the same. You can have it nice that day, you can adjust it to that day, and then tomorrow it's something different. And then updates happen, and then Windows updates happen, and then
you start with the breaking, man.
Holy crap, bro! How audio is messed up. So now I'm working on trying to get a double streaming rig going, right? So I've got both computers. I'm just waiting on my mixer. And
man.
Yeah, it's always striving for that better audio quality. As you guys can hear the background earlier, and probably still hear some of the background now. I'm trying to get rid of this background noise so I can maybe, and a mixer is going to help that. My voice, I can put a little bit more bass in it. I can turn it all the way up so I can sound like B6 all the time. Hey, everybody, how's it going? But anyway, I mean, the audio settings are such a fickle bastard because you can have it nice and tuned in one day, the next day it's totally different.
One of the things I always did is kept myself in check. So I always asked the stream, is the audio good? Am I too loud? Is the game too loud? Is the music too loud? Any of that stuff. Yeah. People are always able to give you feedback.
Yeah. Well, and that's on a good community because there are some people out there that just won't say anything and then they'll just leave, and well, fine, see you, bro. But it's the feedback from the chat. Hey, how does it look? Does it sound good? Blah blah blah. And I've been asking a lot of that lately because I did go to a non-mixer dual PC stream setup to where I was using Voice Meter Banana, and oh my god, it was a pain in the ass to try to get that thing set up, and everything sounded great, everything looked great, but I wasn't happy with the sound because Discord made me sound like I was in a whale. And now they could all hear me fine, on the stream end of it, but everybody sounded like shit to me in my ears. So I was like, no, I'm getting rid of it. So I'm still working on sound settings, and it's such a mess. Let's see. Very Bowring. I don't know how to say your name. That guy. Audio is one thing I noticed. You got bad audio, it will put people off. I hate bad mics or background hum when I'm watching, and it's usually easy to fix. Good microphone, good setup microphone. If you are going to start streaming on a headset microphone, think one of the first couple of things that you're going to want to do is if you want to put into it at all, get you a good microphone, get you an XLR microphone, get you a mixer, or go to Walmart, buy a damn Snowball. They're like $50. A Blue Yeti's like $120 or whatever. You can find them on sale all the time. They get you a decent microphone, and that'll go a long way to help your audio sounds.
If you don't have that opportunity to do that, noise gate. You'd be surprised. Noise gates.
Now,
noise gate cuts off the audio from the microphone when it hits a certain octave. Mm-hmm. So when it gets too low, like if you're on a headset or so, and if you're not talking or if you're not breathing into your mic, that noise gate will cut the actual feed from the microphone, so that way you don't hear it. You don't hear the hum.
Well, that's one thing. That's why I'm a fat guy. I'm a heavy mouth breather, and that's one big reason why I wanted to get off of the headset microphone is because it's right here. and
Yep.
every once in a while I'll catch myself on when I go back and watch some of my feeds, I'll catch myself just breathing really heavy, and that's one thing. Also, it's different. See, I run on XSplit. He runs on OBS. OBS has filters that you can add into your things. XSplit does not have that ability. Now you can go and you can add some things on there, but it's a pain in the ass, so I don't do it. So either way.
Yep.
Do you keep
questions?
Yeah, very good questions. David Roberts says, do you keep the same captain up the total line? David Roberts, when we're talking about 19-point captains or we're grinding up a particular captain, I usually run one captain up every boat. I will run him from tier 5, and when he gets to tier 6, if I have enough elite XP, I'll throw him in there. If not, I'll put him in a premium ship to retrain him to that next boat, and then I will take off on that boat, that particular boat, run him for tier 6. When it comes around to 7, boom, we're gaining that experience all the way up, so we can keep that same captain and keep that same capabilities of that captain in there. And then now, once he gets to 19 points, which is about tier 8, tier 9, tier 10 maybe, somewhere in there, depending on how well you play, because you might play tier 6 like a piece of shit, you might play tier 7 really well, and you want to play tier 7 longer, then retraining that guy into tier 8, then you move him off into one of your premium ships, let him retrain there, or use your elite XP, or you can just pay the 500 doubloons to retrain him. It's up to you, however you want to do it. But I usually keep one captain all the way through the line, or at least I did.
I used to do that too. Yeah.
Arms Race Solitos #1 says, Arms Race tips in the game into too much of our arcadey territory for me. Arms Race, that's fine. I mean,
it's a change of the game, but it still it rewards people getting in there and getting in the conflict. I've seen too many teams where they, blue line, they go all the way around, or they go around islands and stuff. I can't any bus going all the way over there. Well, my team's gonna wreck it because we got reload rates, we got damage controls, we concealment buffs, and everything else. So you got to be kind of aggressive, and that's where that arms race comes into play.
Right. Honestly, man, I would much rather have arms race in this mode than standard battle. I fucking hate standard battle.
Yeah, me too.
It's a slow paced game mode that does not it breaks down into a team deathmatch. Just take out the circles and let everybody kill each other. That's what I say to it. Let it go 20 minutes and whoever's got the most points wins. Keep everything else the same. Just take out them stupid circles. Sounds good to me. Callum says, the real Callum says he's mainly using his Missouri and sometimes the Musashi for rank season, which is good, which is both of them are very solid boats. Solitos, subs were fun for me, but I do not have a clue how to balance them out.
Yeah, that's, literally, it's going to be a rework and everything for all that together, so balancing them is going to be a whole nother shebang.
Yeah. I still, honestly, They're probably going to bring them out whether I want them to or not. So whatever. I'm not going to enjoy them. At the beginning of it, I'm going to be just like every one of these other CV guys. CVs are terrible, but I wasn't like that before. So we'll try to keep that same mentality of we'll keep it open minded and see how they impact the game. But honestly, at this state with the way that they were implemented in that co-op situation or that op situation, I don't think that they fit really well in the main game right now. So they'd have to do it. Do you think John Bart's too OP for ranked high fire?
Negative.
No, it's okay. It's not. You're not going to pin anybody bow on, but you can't HE him to death. Just giant cruiser.
Yep.
I was wondering if the collaborating minds here have any thoughts on the latest meta where 10 minutes into the battle, 3/4 of the team are still at spawn. That's just a fear and lack of knowledge of how to play against CVs. That's what I say. But that's been honestly, man. You can really sit there and look back at 2018. That's the same fucking meta we've had.
Yeah.
It like literally lemming trains all over the place. Not too much death balls that there is now, but the lemming trains were all over the place. Sitting back in spawn 8 minutes into the game, still there. It's just more personified now because people are actually paying attention to it now, as they weren't before. Salitos one says the Republic was pretty popular in clan battles last season. That is true. Any time that you can get out on the edge of the board and have cross shots in, that's very valuable and very good to have. Star Force says the T6 UK destroyer is crap. Fair enough. Cali Boy says I like the collections. The only one I don't have complete is the Bell Epoch collection, which don't remember what that gave, but we finished up all those. Digital Justice says Alexander Ovechkin was introduced 4 to 5 months ago, which I only ended up getting one at the very end because 4 to 5 months ago, what was that? January. That was
November, isn't it?
That was the early part of November, I think. Late October, early November. So it was right in the line where TwitchCon happened, and all that 2 weeks where I wasn't able to get home happened as well. But that's another story. Can a Yamamoto captain go on any ship or Japanese only? That is Japanese only. Wraith 413 says his favorite is the Cossack for release in last year. The Star Force 2 says, I never tried ranked, but if they drop the tier for ranked and clan down to a tier I am good at. Well, you'll never get good at a tier that you don't play.
There you go. Yep.
So suck it up and go in there and play. And that's not one of those get good, bro. That's not one of those. It's one of those you have to understand.
Play it.
You got to play it to get better at it. That's a simple fact. You have to. It's okay. High fire, I don't know about you, but we're running short on time here, guys. We're gonna cut. We're gonna go two more of these questions, and then we're gonna go because he's got to make him some dinner because I could see him wasting away here on the camera. But one thing that I've always told people, it's okay to be bad. It's okay to be bad at this game if you're willing to learn, and you have to fail at this game to get better. You have to make mistakes. You have to torpedo your team. Not saying go do it on purpose by any means, but you have to drop these torpedoes to understand that maybe you pay attention to this guy over here. You have to be defensive torpedo guy as like a defensive driver. You have to pay attention to what's going on. You have to lose. You have to go around these corners into 4 people. You have to understand this stuff. Maybe pay attention to the minimap. Maybe it'll get you to pay attention to all these people.
Situational awareness, man.
There you go. And the only way to get this awareness is to be bad and to struggle and to fail. It's okay to fail in this game as long as you're willing to put in the time to move out. And I know myself, I know High Fire, we're willing to help anybody and with mentality, because I can't teach you experience, but I can teach you mental mentality of paying attention to what's going on around you. Let's see. I agree with that, High Fire. It sucks to not be able to have a chance to get an exclusive ship. We're talking about the steel and the black and the flint.
Like I said, though, I mean, it's exclusivity for people that have been loyal to the game but may not be part of a clan. You have to make some type of exceptions on there. Not for everybody.
Fair
Just
enough.
the people that are like super grindy on the game, like 24/7 kind of thing.
Yeah. So give me here's a solution. Just give me something that I can say that, look, I worked for this.
Yeah.
and nobody else can get it unless they work for this. I don't want these guys with the dual wielding credit cards getting the same benefit that I busted my ass for. That's the problem that I have with it. And then I'm sure everybody out there like, I don't care. But
That was the Kamikaze R. Do you remember that?
I wasn't around when that happened.
Kamikaze was the one that you could buy. Kamikaze R is the one you had to earn.
Yeah. No, I wasn't around when that happened. That had when I first got into this game, the Mikasa was out there for grinding.
Oof.
By the way, I had a 4-kill, 50,000 damage game in a Mikasa last night. So that was awesome. And the last one, Digital Justice has said, have you tested the radar rework? And if so, your thoughts on it?
I have not.
I have not either. I don't, like I said, I don't do public test servers because I want to experience it with everybody else. And if I do public test servers, I feel like I've already done this, and it becomes not. It loses some of its freshness and value for me. So I don't usually do test servers. Now every once in a while I'll jump in there. Like I jumped in on one of the test servers for the CV rework just to see the mechanics and how I was going to deal with it. Other than that, I think it's going to be a wash. The radar change overall is going to benefit the destroyers more than it hurts the cruisers because of that 6 second.
Now they can really use some help though, because with all the CV sputting them all the time, and a lot of the radar, like you said, lasting about a minute or so. That's hellacious.
Right. Also to be said that I think that this, although good for the destroyers, is going to be bad for the cruisers on this note right here. Yeah. Right now, in the current instance of radar in the game, there's no risk at all for using radar. No risk. You don't have to risk anything except for the Salem, and the Salem has an 8.5 kilometer radar, which I think is the most balanced radar ship we have because he has to risk something to get his radar effectiveness.
Yep.
Right? So this is the problem that I have with the radar being 10 kilometers, which is moving up to 10 kilometers and moving up to 12 kilometers. There's no risk for these people running up these boards. I am risking everything that I am as a destroyer going into these caps. So if you want to be effective during that first 6 seconds, you have to be a little bit more risky or not really give a shit and just keep hitting, and nothing is really going to change in the gameplay style from a Daemonis or from a Worcester. They're still going to be sitting behind these islands and letting everybody else do the damage. But now you have a 6 second immunity time here to where only this guy's going to be able to see you. Unless he's out to where he can actually shoot at you, it's going to be a wasted 6 seconds. So it ends up being a complete wash. A complete wash for it. I honestly think that they should lower these ranges down a little bit more, lower these times, so they have to risk something to get in there and do these to be effective with their radars. I think radar's too strong, and I think this radar here being that long is being 10 kilometers, being 12 kilometers is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. So either way, and I'm not one to give DDs anything because the DDs have complained about everything, and they end up 90% of the time ruining the game. But that's another story for another time. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it. Episode 18 is now in the books. HYF1RE, tell them where they can find you. Promote yourself.
Hey, Facebook Gaming's where I migrated over to. Been there for almost a year, actually, coming up in April. So we're going to be doing some celebrations there pretty soon.
There you go.
You can find it fb.gg/HYF1RE, HYF1RE. I am actually doing a giveaway here right after the podcast. So look for the top comment at the very top. It shows giveaways. All you have to do is just reply with your favorite ship. Literally, that's all you need to do. And those are going to be a couple lunar containers and a couple camouflage container codes. Appreciate Sir Venom inviting me out to the podcast. It's good to see a lot of familiar names out there on Twitch still.
Hey, HYF1RE, don't you do another podcast as well with the boys shooting the ship guys?
The Shoot the Ship with Krieger, Helltail Kill, Actual, Baron Nuts and Bolts. They've been doing it every once in a while. My schedule has changed. So I'm working a lot of the evenings now, so they have to kind of change it up a bit there. So I wasn't on the last one, but we'll be looking at doing the next one up pretty soon. Shooting the Ships. That's hosted mainly by Krieger.
There you go. I know me and Krieger talked about it when he was on this podcast a little bit, and I know anytime that you guys can get a chance to check out the Shoot the Ships, is that right? I don't want to talk about your shit and be wrong.
No, shooting the ships.
Shooting the ships with Krieger and High Fire and all those beautiful people out there. You guys should go check them out. Also, there's other podcasts out there that are fantastic. The the Warships podcast with Kellorn and Vanessa area. Those people are phenomenal. And I think
one more channel for the podcast. He's a Facebook streamer. His name is Mad Minister Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
He actually does a podcast too. He's been doing it for about almost 100 episodes.
Wow.
And he's actually streaming it on Facebook as well.
There you
so
go.
Check them out.
There you go. So there it is, boys. If you guys have, like I said, if y'all have anything else that y'all want to talk to me about, leave the questions in the comments section below. We'll leave a bunch of the. I'll leave this link, High Fire's link, and Twitter links and everything like that in the comment section or in the description below. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, thank you very much for being here. High Fire, I do appreciate it, man. You absolutely have enjoyed sitting here chit chatting with you, and you're more than welcome to come back anytime. Just let me know if and when you have some time. So and I'll approach you, whatever. We'll talk about it later, man. But either way, guys, that is it for us. We love you. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you guys next week here on Wednesday. Hold on, let me see what day is Wednesday. The 27th, when I got Timmy G's going to come on, and we're gonna chit chat. And well, you guys all know who Timmy G is, so we'll see. He is the #1 Wikis player in North America, and he's pretty proud of that title there. So we'll talk to him a little bit about that. So either way, guys, I love you. Thank you very much for watching. I am Sir Venom IK. That man right over there in the other box is High Fire. We love you, boys. We'll see y'all next time.